Ah.
Happy Uncle Day!
You know it's not a real holiday, right?
Yes, it is. Right, Mummy?
Any day that annoys Roy. Holiday for me.
I'll get it.
Fee told me that Uncle's Day is her favourite holiday of the year.
Fuck off.
Yeah, seriously. It was Uncle's Day, Uncle Roy's birthday, and then Purtenlaufen, the German holiday where people dress up as evil spirits and roam the streets in order to scare winter away.
She might be an old soul, but she's a proper fucking dweeb, isn't she?
So was that your Range Rover outside as well?
No, it's my mum's.
All right. Hey, how you doing? You all right? Sorry, I'm late.
Oh, it's okay. You can just sit down next to Uncle Roy.
Hello, Uncle Roy.
What the fuck is he doing here?
I had to invite your best friend.
He's not my best friend.
Well, you talk about him a lot. And you spend every day together.
Well, he's not.
So who's your best friend, Jamie?
Probably Isaac.
Fuck off.
He is.
That's pound Uncle Roy.
Bill me.
Huh? Now open Jamie's gift.
Oh, it's stupid. It's dumb. I don't know. It's your original England kit from the 2014 World Cup. Your name's on the back and everything. I got him to change the E to a U.
I love it.
Yeah, you owe me £1, Jamie.
Why didn't you say nothing?
No, but you made me think it, and that's basically the same thing.
Yeah, fair play.
Welcome to another episode of the Revisited Podcast. I'm Ben.
And I'm Kristin. This week we are revisiting Ted Lasso, Season 3, Episode 10, International Break. One of the best episodes of the series.
These last 3 episodes are phenomenal episodes. This episode alone is just, there's so much in this episode. Mom City, the penultimate episode, is great, and the finale is just, it's the finale. I mean,
yeah,
come on. It's
this episode, I cried so much. Like, I just couldn't stop crying. I was doing the kind of crying where like your whole body is shaking, you know? Like there were moments of the episode where I was inside of my brain going, "Get it together, Kristin, get it together."
Do you know what's weird is, so we've talked about this before, is I do 2 rewatches anytime we podcast. I watch once to just kind of remind myself what the episode is, and then I rewatch again, usually before the morning we record. So I watched it again earlier this morning, as did you, and it's my note taking session. I cried both times at different points.
Yeah.
Like, I cried at some moments last night when I watched it. And then when I rewatched it this morning, I still got emotional at those moments, but I ended up crying 1 or 2 scenes that I didn't cry in last night. It's weird.
You know what's strange is, excuse me, is that I didn't really remember a lot of this episode. Like, there are certain parts of the episode that I thought were in different episodes, and they were all together in this one episode. And I really feel like there was this underlying theme of just healing and restoring. And I was struck with how similar Nate and Keely's
Yep.
journeys have been.
I have it in my notes. I have Keely and Nate's stories are very comparable in this.
So first of all, before we get started, because I think we both want to talk about this episode a lot, and I think that we should start with the subject, just for anybody that is coming on to us for the first time in season 3, episode 10. We are a spoiler-free podcast. However, we do have a section of spoilers at the end. You can check the show notes and we will let you know where and when to skip. This is the first time I've done this announcement. So how did I do? Did I do okay?
Great.
Okay, good.
Yeah. I had a big smile on my face while you were doing it. 'Cause I was almost
about halfway through, I go, what else does he say?
I want to interrupt you real quick before you go into your
I'm sure I missed something.
No. It has nothing to do with that, actually. It's
okay.
just kind of, I want to take a step back because you mentioned one word that kind of sums up this entire episode, what you said, healing. Mm-hmm. It's funny because I actually have one word that sums up this episode as well, and that's growth.
Interesting.
So...
Well, and
please continue.
Well, and that's very interesting that you say that, because when Keely has that amazing conversation with May, she says, shit makes things grow. Mm-hmm. And, before we get to Nate and Keely, looking at Keely and what she's been through and how she feels like everything she touches is toxic, that is something that I identify with big time. That's something that I struggle with big time. And so that watching Keely's entire journey in this episode alone, just this one episode, and her talk with May and her talk with Rebecca, it struck a very raw nerve on my heart this week. So, I feel a little raw just by watching this episode. But when you look at Keely and Nate, we're both of these characters are characters that, for me personally, I was really disappointed in this season. And they made some really questionable decisions. They made some bad moves. They were really naive in their thinking. And it seems that by episode 10, which is where we are, they've really come to terms with not only what has happened to them, but their role in what's happened to them. And they seem to be on a path where they're trying to get back to where they used to be. And a big moment of growth that we see in Nate is when he low-key goes in and he sets up the locker room for Will. And that touch of lavender on the card was beautiful and perfect. You see Keely, and Keely invites Barbara back into her company gratefully. And you see that that's a restorative and healing process for both of those characters to grow from. So I love the fact that we're seeing two very different characters go on very similar journeys, but come to very different outcomes almost.
Well, I want to add to that too, in saying that these are two characters that in this particular moment of their stories, these are two characters that have really been stripped down to kind of bare necessities. Nate no longer has West Ham. He still has Jade. He still has somebody in his life. So
he's going to Poland to screw in light bulbs. I'm sorry. Go on.
No, it's fine. And God, that's it's hilarious. Oh my God, it's
and he
such
missed it.
It's such an old school joke that it just even watching that scene for the first time, you're kind of like, did they just reference what I think they referenced? And for those of you who might be listening who may not even have a clue what we're talking about, there's the old oh God, we're going back to when I was in elementary school.
This has been a joke that's been around forever.
Of the how many Polish people does it take to screw in a light bulb? And that's the joke that they're kind of referencing. And I loved it. But going back to my point, like we have Jade, who is still in Nate's life. We have Rebecca, who was still in Keely's life. So they're not without completely, but they have been stripped down. Keely no longer has KJPR. Nate no longer has West Ham United. They are both kind of at their bare minimum of what they have. And it's interesting to see them kind of how they take those moments and kind of build from them. And it's what happens in life a lot is sometimes you have to be taken down to your purest form in order to realize where to go next. And that's exactly what happens with these two people.
Yeah, I think you make a really good point when you talk about Jade and Rebecca, Nate having Jade and Keely having Rebecca. Both of their best friends / closest people to them.
Partners.
Both, well, I mean, yeah, okay. They're gone this episode.
Yeah.
Keely's ignoring Rebecca because Rebecca's got her own thing going on. And I think Keely knew that Rebecca has her own thing going on because Keely's always been very aware of her surroundings. Jade's out of town because if Jade was in town, Nate would have just tried to lean on her. So it's good, I think, that both of them went through this transformative process without their anchors.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes you strong.
Well, and on top of that, too, when you look at these people that they have in their lives with Keely, with Rebecca, and Nate with Jade, these are also two people who know their friends or partners well enough to know that they can handle these situations on their own. We talked about it earlier on about how Rebecca let Keely kind of go off on her own to start KJPR because she needed to learn. She needed to make mistakes. She needed to figure this out. And that's exactly what happened. Because by the end of this episode, when Rebecca says no, I'm now going to give you the money, it's not because she's gifting this to Keely for the sake of gifting it to her. She's gifting this to Keely because she now knows already Keely has learned and Keely knows what to do. Like she has seen what Keely can do now. So now she's okay giving it to her. Like she knows the lessons Keely has learned. The same kind of goes with Jade. Jade is okay leaving Nate because she knows Nate well enough to know Nate will figure this out. And it makes Jade and Rebecca, I mean, we never needed to know anything more about Rebecca because we already love Rebecca. Mm-hmm. But this makes me love Jade more because this makes me realize even more, this is the perfect person for Nate.
Yeah. She knows that Nate needs to get out of his own way right now.
Yeah. And he's never going to do it if I'm here.
And if she had been there, would he have made the progress that he made with the relationship that he has with his father?
No.
Absolutely not.
Because look at the situation. Nate wanted attention. That's really what it was. Yeah. He stayed in bed while he was home because Jade was there. He had attention from Jade. When Jade left, what did he do? He left.
Yeah.
He went to the only other place he knew he was going to get attention. The attention was from his mother, and he knew that. But what comes out of it is the fixing of the fractured relationship of his father with his father.
I don't think that Nate wanted attention. I think that Nate wanted to rest. You know, I moved back home when I was 27 years old after a series of pretty epic failures. And there's something about going home. There's something about letting your parents take care of you. There's something about going back to zero, you know?
Yeah.
Nate needed to go back to zero. He needed to go back to where he felt safest last, and that's at home. I mean, at his house, at his current residence, he's got reporters that won't leave him alone. He becomes a prisoner of his own home. So how can he get the support that he needs and not have people down his back shouting his name and waiting for him to peek out through the window or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
So he went home, he snuck in through the back. It's interesting to me that he said you moved your key, because I would have said, I didn't want reporters to see me or something like that, right? I thought that he went in through the back window because maybe there was a reporter camped out at the front.
Okay.
You know, I don't know, but that's because I think paparazzi are crazy.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Especially in England. R.I.P. Princess Diana. So
Well, that was an inside job, but we won't talk about that.
Next on Conspiracy Theory with Ben and Kristin. So, you know, I think that there's something to be said for Nate's decision to go home, his mother just feeding him food with this dumb smile on her face the whole episode. She's like, my baby's home. I'm going to cook my food. You know,
I was just going to say, like, her baby is home. Like, she's happy.
Right. But like, as a mom too, if my kids are in trouble, no matter how old they are, I want them to come home. I want them to feel like they can come home and reset and rest and find that peace with me, you know, and to know that I think most mothers feel this way. I'm not going to say all, but I would say most mothers feel this way. So Nate's mom kind of got what every mother has ever wanted. My baby came home because he was sad and he wanted his mom. That would fill my heart with purpose and love, you know? And then you see that it has the same effect on Nate's dad. And oh my gosh, what a beautiful conversation between the two of them. I was sobbing again.
No,
I have no notes on that scene, by the way.
That whole scene with Nate playing the violin and how it perfectly melds in with Rebecca talking to the other team owners, which we will definitely talk about. But leading to that moment where his father is in the room and his father is listening as Nate's back's to him, and then he turns around and you get like the bow pull, and like it scares the hell out of Nate. But you're right, that whole conversation. And here's my question to you, because I don't know, I'm not a parent, so it's a matter of really, I think, a parent's perspective in this, is when his father tells him, like, you are a genius. I didn't know how to handle that. Is this a matter of Nate is legitimately a genius child, which is where I lean, or is this that every parent wants to look at their child as a genius because of their smarts?
No, because that's a great question, first of all. Because as a teacher, every parent thinks that their child is a genius, and every parent is wrong.
But there are many,
you know,
but there are a number of different,
right.
Yeah, there are a number of different things with Nate that kind of show maybe he is like a legit genius.
So I think he is. I mean, he played the violin beautifully, probably. He thinks differently about the game. We've seen that since season 1, right? He is an observer. Most people who are observers, they are smarter. I mean, I've just kind of come to learn that when you observe the world and you don't try and control the world or control your narrative, and you take in the information, you can think differently than other people. You will think differently than other people. But we also don't know much about Nate's upbringing. And I'm sure that he is a genius. I think that there is a very real possibility that, you know, his dad just made all sorts of mistakes because he was just like, he's so smart. I don't know. I don't know how to do this.
I can see that, how that can be something that is intimidating. It is when there's something different about your child that you don't know how to handle, or maybe you have trouble understanding. It's an intimidation factor, and you may or may not react that, you know, appropriately when it comes to that situation. So yeah, there's a part of me that after that conversation, especially after the second watch, where in my head, I'm like, I think Nathan is legitimately I mean, we've already known for a while he's incredibly smart.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're kind of coming to the realization that he is much smarter than we even understand him to be,
Mm-hmm.
because I think he really probably does have a genius IQ.
I'm sure he does, which is why he's not good socially.
That also, I think, plays into it as well. And I also think that something that could come of it is the matter of when his father tells him, like, you're a genius, and I didn't know how to understand that, or I didn't know how to handle that. You know, we see in that situation, and from what we've seen before, that it kind of undermined Nate's intelligence a little bit, because he said he didn't want to play the violin because he thought it was a burden to his father. It kind of held him back a little bit. So maybe there's a part of Nate that Nate doesn't even really realize how much of a genius he really is because of being held back.
That's entirely possible. That's entirely possible.
So going back to something that you said earlier about like how you first saw Nate's storyline and Keely's storyline upon season 3 and how there were disappointments about it.
Mm-hmm.
After this episode of episode 10, seeing everything we saw from that happened with Nate and everything that happened this episode with Keely, which there's more to talk about with Keely. We're focusing on Nate right now, and we talked about this a little bit last episode too. Where have your views changed when it comes to these two characters in this season?
That's a really good question. With Nate, I think that I'm so glad that I have been able to do this rewatch because, and analyze it the way that we have, because I have turned my opinion on Nate completely around. Mm-hmm. You know, I think that we all make really, really big mistakes in our lives. And we destroy our lives at times because we can't destroy ourselves. And I am enjoying seeing Nate put himself back together. I think the first time that we watched this show, we are so hurt because we believe as watchers of the show, as viewers of the show, that this is our team, that we're on this team. We work at Richmond. You know, what Nate did, he did to us. You know, we are Coach Beard for sure.
I was just going to say, upon first view of this season, we are Beard.
We
look at Nate the way Beard does.
Yeah, second view of the season, I'm going the Lasso way.
Yep.
You know? And I'm so happy for it because it means that, you know, not only have I learned things and I've grown or whatever, but it means that the show is rewatchable from here on out. Like I don't have to skip, you know, parts of season 3. As far as Keely goes, man, I think Keely is still on her restorative journey. You know, she makes the rash decision to lead Roy, you know, back into her room, but we don't know if that means that they're together or not. It just means that, you know, he wrote her a sweet letter and she's like, let's go. You know, we don't know how that's going to, what the fallout of that is going to be.
Yeah.
You know, Keely, I think Keely's taking this probably a little harder than Nate because Nate's always been hard on himself. He's always been insecure. He's always thought that he isn't worth anything. Keely is quite the opposite. She has nothing but self-confidence. She has always been very sure about herself. She's been sure about, like, she's so sure about herself. Her office and her home space and everything exudes her personality. And she has wonderful advice for anybody that comes to talk to her. And she's so evolved. But Jack has broken her down. Jack has completely shaken every confident bone in her body. And when you're taken down to the quick, like I think Keely has, I think it's going to take longer for her to come back. We've watched Nate come back for several episodes now. This just happened to Keely. And I think it's going to take her a little longer. And, you know, we know it is going to probably take her a little longer because we've seen the whole show. But she's on the right path and she's back with Rebecca. She's back with open communication with Roy. She's making her own rules now. She's got Barbara, who's there by choice. That's wonderful. She's got all these good things, and she's ready to start making good decisions moving forward. And I think that we see Nate, and he's a little bit further along than she is. What do you think about that?
No, I agree with that. Nate Nate is further along than Keely is, only because of the fact that Nate has been dealing with this for longer, as you kind of mentioned. As far as Keely goes, you mentioned how sure of herself she is, and it's something that we've always known about Keely since season 1. But we're finding out that there can be a negativity to that, because she's so sure of herself in how good she is at, talking to people and helping people. But when somebody shines a negative light on yourself or makes you think something negative about yourself, now you can become so sure in yourself that those things are true as well. And we're kind of seeing that, because when she's sitting at the bar with May, she says, like, what's the opposite of the Midas touch, where everything you touch turns to shit. And, we're seeing that now she has been instilled because of Jack, and Jack's, I don't even have words for it. But because of Jack, she's now been instilled with this negativity about herself, that now that's something she's so sure of.
She was in an abusive, manipulative relationship.
Of the emotional sort, which is worse.
Right. Yep.
Which arguably can be, I'm not taking anything away from a physically abusive.
Right.
But an emotionally abusive relationship is just as bad, if not worse sometimes.
Well, those scars are not physical. They're not physical scars that can heal. Though emotional scars are deep, and they take a long time to repair.
And they also cannot be seen either, which means
you
sometimes you don't get the help you need.
Right. Absolutely. 100%. It's ridiculous. I like it that when Jack finally texts, Keely's just like, fuck off.
Yeah. It's just like, she's beyond it at this point.
Well, she was also super drunk too, when it finally happened.
Yes. But going back to my point is, she's now so sure that everything she touches fails. KJPR has failed. Her relationship with Jack has failed. Her
relationship with Roy
has failed.
Right.
The relationship with Jamie failed. Like, everything she has done up until this point feels like a failure to her now, because her viewpoint has been shifted, and now that's how she sees everything. But I love, and we talk about those emotional moments that kind of make you cry. I love the fact that the person who steps up and kind of begins to pull her out of this isn't Rebecca. It's Roy.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were going to say it was Barbara. I think Barbara's wonderful in this episode.
I've been saying for episodes now how much I love Barbara as a character. And this episode here really kind of, it puts a really good spotlight on that too. I mean, and maybe you're right. Maybe it isn't Roy. Maybe Barbara is kind of the first step.
It is. I just love the back and forth about paying for the snow globe.
I love the fact that, like, and looking at things from Barbara's perspective too, like not just Keely's. Like, it's one thing to see Keely's viewpoint of Barbara in that Barbara has been there through everything. She's the first person, she's one of the first people she meets when KJPR starts. And when KJPR ends, Barbara's the last person there. Like, first in, last out. Like, that shows dedication to Keely, dedication that Barbara has. And, in a sense, it is just Barbara's mentality that when she takes a job, that's what she does. She's dedicated to that job. But looking at it from Barbara's perspective, this is probably the first time Barbara has ever had anybody look at Barbara as more than just an employee or a coworker. This is the first time somebody is seeing Barbara as a person.
Well, when she says, "You're really fun." Yeah. Nobody, it's very clear nobody has ever said that to Barbara before.
Can I just say real quick too? I love the fact that she's wearing a jumpsuit with like juicy on the ass, and she's just, I just like clothes that are truthful.
I did too. It made me want to go out and buy a Juicy Couture suit immediately. Immediately.
There's a part of me that when I first watched this episode is like, is she wearing like shit that like Shandy has
Barbara.
left?
It was so not Barbara. Yeah.
There's a part of me that was like, oh, like this is just stuff that like Shandy left behind before she left. And then no, this is legitimately Barbara's
This is what Barbara
clothing.
wears when she's not working.
Yeah. But yeah, like seeing, you know, so much so to the point where when, you know, KJPR gets a jump start from Rebecca, Barbara walks back in the office and says, I can't accept this snow globe because I only get them when I leave a job. I've left Jack's employment and I'm willing to come back if you'll take me. That's a huge, that's something I don't think Barbara has ever done before.
No.
She just goes where she's told to.
Right.
This is the first time Barbara has gone where she wanted.
And I think that Keeley gave her that kind of confidence to feel like she could do it because Keeley makes everybody better. And she makes everybody better around her at the cost of herself. And while she did have the time with Rebecca and she did have the time with Roy all before Barbara came back, Barbara is somebody that hated Keeley from the very beginning. Barbara is somebody that Keeley could not figure out how to bring into her world, right? Mm-hmm. And now at her lowest moment in her career, Barbara sees Keeley as someone inspiring enough to leave behind her stable job with Jack and join her. And this gives Keeley her confidence back, I think.
Well, I kind of want to disagree with you on one point.
Please do.
When you say like this is the lowest point in Barbara's career, I don't think that's the case at all. I think this is just another, because we know that Barbara has this huge snow globe collection and she only buys them when she leaves a job. This is just par for the course for Barbara. Like leaving KJPR, she's on to wherever like Jack's company tells her to go next or wherever she's told to go next. This is no different than any other move she's made. Like she's used to going from place to place to place, but there's something about Keeley that makes her want to make this change. She doesn't want to do that pattern. She doesn't want to follow the pattern anymore.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
she's finally somewhere where somebody sees her as more than just an employee.
Right. She sees her as a person, as somebody worth being around. I mean, when we see Barbara throughout the season and she's laughing at Jack's jokes and being really weird at the game and, oh, Jack, you're so funny. She doesn't have to do any of that with Keeley. She could just look at Keeley and be like, you are ridiculous and I hate you. And Keeley's like, I love you though. So that's all that matters, you know?
Well, and I just like the only point I was disagreeing with you. Yeah, the only point I was disagreeing with you on was when you said this is the lowest point in Barbara's career. I don't think that's the case at all.
I meant the lowest point in Keeley's career.
Oh, I mistook that as Barbara's career.
Totally fine. No, at the lowest point in Keeley's career, where she's sitting there in her empty office and she's turning off, the KJPR lamp and she's sitting there packing up or doing whatever it is that she's doing. I don't remember because I was crying.
Hard to see through all those watery eyes.
Really is. Yeah. And Barbara comes through and she pulls out that snow globe to give back to her. I mean, even if you've never seen the show before, you know what's coming.
Well, and I talk about, at the top of the episode where I mentioned the one word that explains this episode is growth. We see it, like we talk about the growth in Nate. We talk about the growth in Keeley. Mm-hmm. There are so many other characters in this episode that show growth, even if it's just the smallest amount. Almost every single character shows a little bit of minute growth.
Everybody has grown. Yeah.
The only person in this episode who doesn't show any growth is Ted. And that's because his is coming next episode.
Yeah, I thought what I have to say about Ted is actually specific to spoilers. Like everything I have to say about Ted is very specific to spoilers. So I'm actually going to put a pin in all of that. Okay.
Oh, I wasn't jumping into Ted conversation.
Oh, no. I know. But,
there really is no Ted conversation.
I almost answered you in what I wanted to talk about, but I was like,
Gotcha.
no, I got to save it. I do, while we're still on Keeley, I do want to talk about that conversation with May and Keeley.
Okay.
First of all,
it's in my notes too.
First of all, is this the first time we've seen May with makeup on? She is all kinds of done up. They put blush on her. They put eye makeup on her.
I didn't really pay attention.
I just noticed. I was like, wow, this is the most done up I've ever seen May. But she said something that I thought was really wonderful when she said, when you get to the top of the mountain, there's nothing left but lightning. And it depends on if you're ready for it or not. That lightning has struck Nate and Keeley in this episode. And it's keeping Keeley down a little bit right now, but it has ignited Nate.
Mm-hmm.
Nate has been ignited to fix his destructive path in this coming of age journey that he's had. And the first thing he does is he reconciles what he did to Will, which tells me that at the heart of it all, he's still a Kit Man.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? He knows that he did Will wrong. And that was the first person that he did wrong. The minute Will was hired, he started treating Will like shit. So Nate has gone to the very beginning of his destructive path. He didn't start with Ted. He didn't start with Beard. He didn't start with the bigwigs. He started where he started. And to me, that says everything I need to know about his journey. He really has evolved. He really has come to terms with what he has done. And he is starting at the very bottom to make his amends. This is Nate's wonderful.
Apology. This is Nate's apology tour.
I always say that I have a May apology tour for the month of May because I go silent in May just because it's the end of the school year. And in June, I always say, okay, it's time for my apology tour. Please still be my friend.
But yeah, like I can see that as well, too, in the sense of that, Nate is kind of at this point now where, and I don't want to discuss too deeply because a lot of it comes into play next episode. So I don't want to talk about it too spoilery. Mm-hmm. But Nate has finally gotten to a point in his life where he is content with what he has. He has a great partner in Jade, and he now has a great relationship with his parents again. We see them at the end of this episode. They're sitting around a table playing Uno together. Yeah. He is content. He doesn't need West Ham. But at the same time, he knows amends need to be made. And he starts, as you said, kind of starting. I don't even want to say it's starting at the bottom. I think he's starting
at the beginning.
He's starting kind of where like the people he knows he wronged the most, or at least in the way that like he's starting with the ones he wronged the most that he can get to. Like Will is easy because Will, like he can go in, he can play the Kitman part, send Will the apology note, give him that little piece of lavender, which we talked about. It was just a beautiful, nice loving touch. Little touch to that.
And Will snips it.
And you can tell in that moment, he's forgiven. Like Will has forgiven him.
Do you think Will thought he was fired when he walked in?
Probably.
He looked like he was pooping his pants. Like he just. And can we just talk about how wonderful Nate's handwriting is compared to Roy Kent's handwriting?
Compared to Roy Kent's, yep. I was just gonna say that too. Like there are other people like he wronged very in a big sense, but he has to work to them. Like Ted, he needs to work too. Beard, he needs to work too. Like
I don't know. I think that he did wrong Will the most. He treated Will like he was garbage.
Oh, like garbage. Yeah.
And I think that my guess is that actually weighs heavier on him than anything else, is the way that he treated a Kit Man as a Kit Man.
Yeah. Oh no, I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. Like he hurt, like he treated Will the worst because what made the way he treated Will worse than anybody else is the fact that was the position he was in, and he has experienced that himself.
Yes. By it was Jamie, Isaac, and Colin.
He became what he always hated.
Yeah. But it was because he hated himself at that point. He actually is beginning to like himself now. He has found validation in Jade. He's found validation in his father. He has been loved by his mother, who obviously is very special to him. So I lost my train of thought.
No, in the validation.
How did that just happen? Yeah. I got talking about his mom and I just got all, yay.
Well, you got distracted by the idea of tomato soup being left outside of your bedroom door. Because let's be real, I would easily slide that tray into my room if I just opened my door and there was a sandwich and tomato soup.
Yeah. And then you see that the tray goes back out and it looks like it's the same thing.
No, it's a different tray.
No, it looks like it's the same meal. Like,
oh yeah,
he's switching out. Like that's all she's making for him because she knows that that's what he likes. You know.
Hey, you stick with what you love. You know,
Blue Box Kraft Macaroni and Cheese Original. Okay, don't give me the SpongeBob SquarePants noodles. Don't give me cheesier than cheesiest. No, original Kraft macaroni and cheese. Thank you very much.
I will argue though that the nacho cheese Kraft macaroni and cheese is pretty damn good too.
Fuck off. No,
and so is the pizza. But this is a whole other topic. We've talked about this because this is going to be an issue at Thanksgiving when I come to visit your family at Thanksgiving.
We don't have macaroni and cheese at Thanksgiving.
You will. I'm contributing to dinner, and it will be my homemade macaroni and cheese.
Okay,
which
but
is the
you just
one
have
thing
to
that
understand,
everybody.
When I say I don't like it, it has nothing to do with how much I love you.
Look, when I make homemade macaroni and cheese for your family, I will Chandler Bing it for you and give you Blue Box. Like it's.
Yay! Thank you.
Specifically just for you.
That's all I ask. I want the chemicals, okay?
Anyway, it's Will, I think you're right. I think Will had to be the first person that he made amends to because
it wouldn't have been authentic.
Yeah. Because again, it's not the fact of like who he wronged the worst. It's the fact what makes Will the worst was the fact that he became what he hated in the way that he treated Will.
Yeah.
And that's, you're right. That needed to be repaired. That was the first step. Ted, Beard, the team, other people, they come later.
Yeah.
And I think another part of it is too, like he knows he has to apologize to Ted, but he also kind of knows that Ted being Ted, it's already forgiven.
Yeah.
But Nate needs to do it for himself.
Right.
Even if Nate feels he's already been forgiven or it's already been forgotten, this apology tour isn't just for the people he's wronged. This is for himself.
Right. I agree. And I think that it's for himself because he snuck in the back and he snuck in the front. He's not doing it to be noticed. He's not doing it for attention. He's not doing it to be the wonder kid, you know?
Yeah.
He is doing this because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah. Which is huge for Nate. And I think I kind of, as you put it a little bit earlier, like we wanted to hate Nate because we couldn't forgive him for what we did. And I was able to forgive Nate by the end of season 3 upon first watch. And I'm able to forgive him even sooner.
Yeah.
Upon the rewatch.
This rewatch was really good for me because I was so pissed off the whole season.
Yeah. I feel like it's weird to say this, but the stories that we get from these characters, the stories that we get of Nate in this episode, the story that we get of Rebecca, of Keely, of Roy, even of like Jamie and Sam and some of the other players, it's not often called this, but I feel like this is the penultimate of the penultimate. These 3 episodes, like oftentimes when a series is getting ready to end, you get the penultimate episode, which is the lead up to the finale of the story, which is the series finale. Mm-hmm. I feel like this is part 1 of a 3-part finale.
Yeah, much like Lost.
Yes. This is the wrap up and closure of growth in a lot of these secondary characters. Because next week, without spoiling too much, is a very heavy Ted closure story with a couple other characters.
Okay, good.
There's a couple.
Someone
other
gets
characters.
the yips a little bit.
Yes, yeah. So this episode, I think, is Keely, Nate, Roy, and there's even more Nate to come. We're not done with Nate
and
yet,
Rebecca.
And Rebecca. This is a huge closure episode.
There's a reason why we haven't talked about her yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next week's episode is some closure of, again, not going too spoilery, Ted, Jamie, Nate, and Beard. And then the series finale is full closure of everything. It is the wrap up of the story.
I do feel, especially as we're talking about this right now, because we've talked so much about just Keely and Nate, and we're almost an hour in. This episode, and there's so much more to talk about.
I know, we're not even close to that.
Is my point. This episode could have been 2 episodes easily.
Do you know what's funny too? As you mentioned, like all of this stuff that we've talked about yet, and we still have more to come. I have not once crossed anything off my list of things we've talked about because I haven't looked at my notes once.
The only thing I looked at was that I wanted to get that thing that May said, right?
Yeah.
But
I haven't looked at my notes once
I love
yet,
this episode.
Entire conversation.
Yeah, I feel like we're just I totally agree. I just love this episode so much. This is a really good episode for Nate. And it's funny because I'm going to transition here a little bit from Nate.
Okay.
Pivot.
Go for it.
We see a very strange Rupert this week. And I think he lost his puppet and he needs a new plaything. And he thinks Rebecca might be the ticket.
I agree with you in part.
Yeah.
However, I think there's more to it.
Oh.
And I can't say anything about it until spoilers.
Which is fine. But so let's talk about what we saw in this episode. Okay. He has a frumpy, new, overly eager assistant.
Mrs. Bread.
Who is not Rupert's assistant type.
No.
Rebecca immediately catches on to it. He went old school and he snuck in to Richmond the way he did when he was a boy. Mm-hmm. Which proves that he's coming kind of with his tail tucked between his legs. He's lost something because he used to just walk right through there like he owned the place still. I mean, he walks in, he's able to get into her office. He's able to bypass everybody because everybody still kind of loves Rupert there.
Well, we haven't seen him in her office since before he sold off his shares. This is the first time he's been in her office without owning part of the team.
No. He's been there.
I don't think so.
I think he was there to tell her that he sold off the rest of his shares.
No,
he was there to talk about the baby.
No, that the last time we saw Rupert talk about any ownership of the team was Rebecca's father's funeral. When he said, "I'm gifting you Bex's shares." And that was when Rebecca became full owner of the team, was at her father's funeral. We have not seen Rupert in Rebecca's office since before the last time we saw Rupert in Rebecca's office, he still owned shares. Mm-hmm. He was part owner of the team. He owns nothing now. So Rupert had to sneak in.
I still think that there's something to be said for the fact that he felt that he had to sneak in. And I think that it could be, now that you said that, and now I'm thinking back, so I'm thinking out loud at this point, is that you see by the end of the episode that he wants to rekindle something with Rebecca. But in an underhanded, sneaky way, he snuck into Richmond. He's courting her now by, showering her with this meeting of the white men and Edwin Ofuku,
Okufu.
I hate him. I don't care.
That just goes to show you how well Sam Richardson plays that character.
Oh, he's brilliant. Because
he's great.
He's brilliant because if you've seen him in the Tomorrow Wars, if you've seen him in New Girl, yeah, where he plays Dunstan,
yeah,
he is amazing. So yeah, I really do like him in this role. But
I just want to start calling people Pinky Dick.
I love that. Pinky Dick. But I do love the fact that we are seeing that Rupert is trying to start an affair with Rebecca.
I'll even take it a step further. I agree with you, but I think we're seeing, again, we talk about growth and how all of these characters grow somewhat. Rupert is regressing.
Yeah, he is, because he lost his toys.
Yeah, he is regressing.
All of his plans are no longer working to get to Rebecca. And he sees that at the end of this episode.
Mm-hmm.
She just looks at him like, what the fuck are you doing? And she just walks away. It was great.
Yeah. Because we see, kind of using this to kind of talk about Rebecca a little bit in this whole thing, because Rebecca and Rupert go hand in hand. We see that moment. And this is what really led me to growth being the word of this episode, is we see that moment before Rebecca goes into the meeting, is she is standing in front of the mirror and she's doing that thing that she said early on, I think back in season 1, when she was telling Nate how to find confidence. This is what Rebecca does to find confidence. And
Make
she's been
yourself
doing
as big as possible.
And she's been doing it all her life. And there's a huge realization in this moment that when she looks in the mirror, she sees herself as a girl, as a young girl. And this is the first time that Rebecca, I think, even she almost literally grows. She does the whole thing where she makes herself as big as possible. And then the next time she sees herself as Rebecca, as the woman Rebecca, not the child Rebecca. She has literally grown in that moment. It's that growth theme. So, and then when you fast forward to that meeting, Rebecca sees all of these owners and she sees them as boys.
That was awesome. Keely's text couldn't have came at a better time.
Yeah. And we're seeing, and I want to, this is kind of taking a little side note too, and because it's something I noticed upon second watch. Did you notice where Rebecca was placed at the table?
Yeah, at the end,
with no one across from her.
Yeah,
her placement at the table, I feel like, is very important. I don't know what way it's important, but I feel like there's meaning to it.
She has no equal at that table.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
There's no way to put anybody in front of her.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe that's just their way of saying Rebecca has no
It could also be
equal.
that because she's a woman, they put her at the end.
She's an outsider.
Away from everything.
Yeah.
But that makes her, but she's also incredibly important to that meeting.
Well, I also love the fact, too, that when Edwin comes in and sees her and he's like, it's so nice that there's another minority here. She gives him that look like, what the fuck did you just say? Like, I'm no minority.
I belong here. Probably more than you do.
Yeah. Oh, she 100% does.
Right. Well, it was his meeting. That's why I said probably, because he called the meeting. Rebecca, I want to go back to the mirror scene.
Yeah.
When Rebecca looks at herself in the mirror for the very first time, Rebecca does not believe that she has earned this spot. She is going in nervous. Her shoulders are hunched forward. Her hand is over her heart. She's protecting her heart in that moment. She's looking at herself in the mirror as that little girl that does not deserve the things that she has earned. It isn't until I think she looks at that little girl and she remembers her dreams, and she remembers that she's not that little girl anymore. And she remembers her routine and she does her big moment, that her shoulders go back.
She's confident.
Looks at herself. She needed to remember she's Rebecca fucking Welton.
Yeah. Boss ass bitch.
Boss ass bitch. Exactly.
Yep.
And so I think that Rebecca has been so wonderful in making herself smaller for the good of the team because she's created a beautiful team element. Like her and Ted, her leadership and Ted's leadership have just created this wonderful team of equals where she doesn't have to be the big boss ass bitch. She gets to be a part of the team.
Yeah.
So she, in a sense, has forgotten that she is the boss ass bitch. And she needs to remember, like Leslie said, you got a seat at the table, man. Go and see what it is.
Yeah.
You're not going to know anything if you don't go.
I love that moment of advice from Higgins. Like, who cares how you got invited?
Yeah.
You have a seat at the table.
She should have gone him first.
The whole conversation where Higgins is going through the list of people of like who she could have gone to.
And then he gets to mom and she's like, are you fucking joking? Let's do this. Come on. I'm flattered.
But yeah, you're right. Like, in addition to finding the confidence of who she is as a person, there's a huge realization in that conversation when she tells like Edwin and all the owners, like, are you people joking? Like, is this a joke? And she goes on to talk about like what football means to the fans. She has realized that this is no longer like she doesn't see this as a business anymore. This is something like
so much bigger.
It's so much more than that. She says she doesn't just see herself as an owner of a team. She sees herself as part of this town. She sees herself as part of the team, as you said.
She's got a relationship with the fans. They have open practices. She's always at the team bar. What has become the team bar.
Yeah.
She is always in the locker room. She knows all of the players. She even has such a wonderfully awkward moment with Sam. But they both walk away happy. Not sad. And they've grown. What? Your growth theme. They've both grown into these people that they still have this massive respect and like for one another. But they just know that it's not the cards.
But also look at what happens before that, too, in relation to Sam, in relation to Ted. When Rebecca is in her office and she's going through her bag looking for her phone, what are the two things that she finds?
The matchbook.
She finds the green matchbook and the green army man directly connected to Sam and Ted. These are two people who are connected to this team who she has grown from because of her interactions with these two people.
Yeah.
This is a huge moment in which Rebecca realizes how important this team and everybody in it is to her.
And, the army man that she has is a sniper, right?
Yeah.
The sniper is the lethal one, right? She remembered she's the lethal one because she is. She is far more dangerous and shrewd and just fucking phenomenal than every other man at that table. And it's not because she's a woman, right? It's because she understands her role on the team. Because just a few weeks ago, Ted said what? He said, this isn't our team. We're just borrowing it for a little bit. And ever since he said that line, it has changed my perspective on sports just in general.
We talked a lot about that last episode when we talked about like Mark Cuban and some other owners. Yeah.
Right. And so Rebecca realizes this and she goes to bat for the common man at that table.
And you know what's so funny about it too is I feel like Rebecca, when she went into that meeting, I feel like the intention was to just hear what they had to say because she now has a spot. She has a spot at the table so she can go in and she can listen. But when she looks up and she sees them as just the children that they are, like they just want more toys, she has no problem in speaking her mind. That's the sniper pulling the trigger.
Yeah.
And I'm going to shut this shit down.
And I feel like, because we don't get to see the food fight, which makes me very upset. But, Edwin leaves without any food on him at all. So
we already know he throws the temper tantrum.
They clearly all said no.
Yeah.
And he threw all the food at them, which is phenomenal because it just means that he has trashed any inkling of doing anything in sports after that.
Well, look at this character. This character, Edwin Akufu, who we met last season. Just all you need to know about him is how big and overblown his aspirations are. He went from wanting to own a team within a year to wanting to own a league.
Because he wants to control
too big, too fast.
It's because he wants to control it all.
Yeah.
He wants everybody to be his yes men, like his two little lackeys with the high five thing and the pinky dick thing. And, he has nobody in his life, I think, that grounds him.
Everybody in his life is paid for.
Big, fat, orange, African baby.
Everybody in his life is paid for. That's, that's what it is. Yeah. Yeah. But I want to, going back to the whole meeting thing, we talked about like Rupert's regression and what's going on with him. I do want to say, and we talked a little bit about this last episode, there is a moment where you do see a little bit of humanity and you almost kind of like Rupert in the smallest sense.
Is it the story?
The story that Rebecca tells about this little boy who used to sneak in and got caught. And when he finally owned the team, gave that security guard a pay raise with no explanation, and then we hear again that the two of them snuck in together, but he already owned the team at that point. So it was kind of pointless. Like we find out like, okay, like there really was some good to Rupert at some point. And then, like, after the food fight, it's Rebecca and Rupert that are laughing. Like, they're the ones that are kind of being like, his
laugh was the nerdiest laugh I've ever heard in my life, and I loved it.
And I did see an interview with Anthony that said, like, that's not his real laugh. Like, he did that intentionally. Probably because Rupert, the character, doesn't laugh. Probably. Yeah, so he doesn't know how. But I did I love Anthony Head. Like I've been a fan of his since Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And I did see an interview with him and he said like as horrible as this character is, he loved playing this character. It was just a ton of fun for him, more so because he just got to be a part of this story. Like, even if it was playing the villain, like, he just loved this story so much of the entire Ted Lasso story. He was just so happy to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Even if it was playing a horrible character.
Usually the actors that play the worst characters are the nicest people.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Joffrey.
I was just going to say, Joffrey Baratheon.
Joffrey Baratheon is probably the biggest.
I can't remember that actor's name for the...
Jackie Gleason?
Jack Gleason.
Jack Gleason.
Yeah. Jackie Gleason was a comedian from like the early...
He was a burlesque guy, right?
Jackie Gleason? No,
the burlesque
Jackie Gleason,
shows?
No. That's Liberace.
No,
Jackie Gleason was a comedian. If you've ever seen...
I've seen I Love Lucy. He was on I Love Lucy. He did Slowly I Turn, didn't he? Slowly I Turn, step by step, inch by inch.
No, Jackie Gleason was a Jewish comedian. If you've ever seen Caddyshack 2.
Oh, no.
He's the lead of Caddyshack 2.
I've never seen Caddyshack.
I am just going to look this up to make sure I am not wrong. Oh, no, I am wrong. Son of a bitch. You are right. He's from the Honeymooners. Jackie Gleason was from the Honeymooners and from Smokey and the Bandit. So I'm wrong. Who am I thinking of?
I don't know. That's okay. Let me see real quick.
I'm
actually in my notes.
I'm thinking of Jackie Mason. Sorry. Close enough.
So I do have a question about that meeting.
Okay.
What do you think was Rupert's angle in inviting Rebecca?
I did think about that. And I don't know if I have an answer.
I don't either. I was really hoping you would.
I do think there's a part that was legitimately about making money because that's who Rupert is. He wants to be successful and money makes you successful in his eyes. Mm-hmm. So I do think there is a legitimate part of that. I also think there is a part that he saw this as an opportunity to maybe get Rebecca back under his thumb again. Like, hey, I did you a favor.
I brought you into this.
I brought you into this. I did you a favor. Mm-hmm. I brought you in. Now that you're in, remember who did it.
I think she did them all a favor by telling them to fuck off.
Well, she obviously, like you said, they all told Edwin no.
Yeah.
So she very clearly had an influence.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I think it's twofold. I think it's one, he did want to be successful, but I do think it was a power move to kind of get Rebecca back under his thumb again.
That's interesting.
He has no other people. He lost Nate. He lost his puppy dog.
And his new assistant is inexplicably missing.
Oh, we're going to talk about that in spoilers.
Oh, yes, sir, we are. Yeah, so I mean, Rebecca is wonderful in this episode for sure. I just, she has evolved so much from the first time that we saw her. And, her journey is weirdly far from over with 2 episodes left. But at the same time, she has evolved into this complete person where she can walk away from Sam and not feel hurt. She's smiling. She can walk away from her interaction with Rupert when he tries to kiss her, smiling, and walks away. And I don't know if you noticed this, but in her final scene with Ted at the end of the episode, wearing a pink dress and her hair is down, she has softened her look. She went from this, power suit, everything hugging, everything tight. Her hair is slicked back tight. Her makeup is on perfectly tight. Even her eye makeup is sweeping to the back. And then in this final scene, we see her in her couture, hot couture version of sundress, and her hair is down, and she looks softer and more relaxed.
Well, she admits to Ted that, like, I don't need to beat Rupert now. Like, I still want to win, but like my goal has changed. Like,
she's taken ownership of her team.
Well, and there is something else that happens in that final scene too. I'm glad you brought this up because I have this in my notes. But there is something else that happens in that final scene that is a huge step forward for Rebecca. When Rupert is in that office, he questions the painting on the wall, the Hockney. Like, what happened to it? And she's like, oh, like I took it. I got rid of it. She took it down because she didn't want any reminder of Rupert in that office.
Yeah.
She loved that painting, but took it down because she was reminding her of Rupert.
Yeah.
In the end, in that final scene, she rehangs that painting because it's not for Rupert now. It's for her.
Mm-hmm. And she can look at it with confidence. I like it that you said that. That's very cool. Mm-hmm.
She's hanging this painting now for herself.
Look at the Ted says, did you draw that?
And I love how this episode ends with her just spitting tea.
Yeah.
In Ted's face. And she's like, I feel like it's ceremonial now. He's like, well, as long as any of that elephant piss didn't get in my mouth, we're fine.
I agree.
There's not a lot of Ted in this episode at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's very limited.
Yeah.
We're going to get a lot next episode. But
so do you want to talk about the players?
So before we talk about the players, before we talk about the team.
Okay.
I want to go because it kind of transitions a little bit back into Keeley a little bit.
Okay.
But, I guess we don't really have to. We did mention it, the note that Roy wrote to Keeley.
Okay.
When Roy admits that it was his fault, Keeley did nothing wrong. It's a huge moment because Keeley is seeing, okay, maybe everything I do isn't my fault. Everything that bad happens isn't my fault. Roy is the one that really makes her realize that. And then we get that great moment where, as you mentioned, she kind of invites him in. And when Keeley and Rebecca are on the couch and Rebecca's like, oh, like, getting back, like, could you imagine getting back with that floppy dick, whatever, and who comes down the stairs is Roy
In Keeley's robe.
and just does the little salute to Rebecca. And I loved, like, that's such a great moment. But sticking on Roy before we go into,
are we going to talk about Uncle's Day?
let's do Happy
Yay!
Uncle's Day. There is some growth from Roy in this episode. Because of things that happen, Happy Uncle's Day doesn't really play into it. It's just a fun scene. I don't know. Actually, I take that back. It's a lead in to the scene that really makes Roy come to a realization. It's the shirt that leads to the conversation with Miss Bowen. That really kind of is an eye opener for Roy. But let's talk about Happy Uncle's Day first, because I love this scene. This scene has stuck out in my head since, like, when we talk about season 3, this is a scene that sticks out in my head.
Because it's so cute. I just want to die.
It's Phoebe inviting Jamie as Roy's best friend.
Uncle Roy's best friend, yes.
Uncle Roy's best friend. So, in this scene, I want to talk about the gift that Jamie gives to Roy, because there's quite a bit to unpack with this, because it's humorous on the surface, but there's really something underlying about this. So
I cried.
So when Jamie gives Roy the gift, it's his original kit from when he played for England in the World Cup. Very similar, kind of goes along with international break, where these guys are playing for their countries in other games. The fact that, like, the surface part of it is when Jamie says, I got them to change the E to a U. And Phoebe, like, you can tell Roy's sister has figured it out, but watching Phoebe kind of process this is one of the funniest damn things in this entire scene. And when she tells Jamie, like, you owe me a quid, he's like, but I didn't say nothing. Like, no, but you made me think it, and that's kind of the same thing. He's like, all right, fair enough. But the underlying fact is, that's a very meaningful gift. That's not just a kit he got at the shop and got them to change the name. Like,
for Uncle's Day.
For Uncle's Day. That is a legitimately very touching gift. That's a real thing.
No, they both had, like, a weird soft moment there that they were trying desperately to cover up in front of the women.
But when Roy is holding it and he never breaks eye contact with Jamie. And then finally says, like, I love it. Like, he admits, like, that is a meaningful gift.
Yeah, it is. It's better than Phoebe's gift.
Well, Phoebe's gift is just amazing in itself.
The fact that she thought that her uncle would wear that.
There's a part of me that, like, you're right. The fact that she thought Roy would wear it is one thing, but there's also a part of me that knows that Phoebe is very smart.
Yeah.
And Phoebe knows her uncle will wear it.
Yeah. It's like your name. Red, orange, and yellow.
And then when Jamie's like, I fucking love it. And Phoebe just puts out her hand.
He's worth it. It was like, worth it.
Worth it. Like, it's such a great scene. And this is something that we talked about in spoilers, I think, last season, but we never this is the first time we finally get to like realize it.
Yeah.
We have seen Roy's sister before.
Yeah.
She is, when he talks about in that parent teacher conference how she works in the hospital in the emergency room, she's the nurse that worked on oh God, what's
Dr. Sharon.
Dr. Sharon. When Dr. Sharon was in the bike accident.
Yeah.
She was working in the ER and Ted and Dr. Sharon had the interaction with her. We now see that was Roy's sister and Phoebe's mom.
Now we know she has a different last name because Ted would have picked up on it. Dr. Kent.
Well, yeah. Well, she probably kept her married name
For Phoebe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though he's a piece of shit. Phoebe's father is a piece of shit.
Yeah, he's a living piece of shit.
I love this tie-dye shirt journey that he goes on, because by the end of the episode, he's wearing tie-dye still.
He's accepted it.
It's just more Roy's colors.
Yeah.
I think Phoebe made him a different shirt after she saw that he was willing to wear that shirt. And this was like the backup shirt. Like, okay, here, this is brown. This is blue and black. You can have this.
I love the scene of Roy walking into AFC Richmond wearing the shirt.
With the red right hand playing in the background.
With Nick Cave, red right hand playing.
Yeah.
And just like we see the influence Roy has in that locker room and that everybody is just giving him the stare down. The one guy laughs and Roy just turns his head and gives him an over the shoulder look and just looks at him, and this guy instantly stops and puts his head down.
But in what world did he think laughing at Roy Kent was going to be a good idea?
I don't know.
I
But
would have screamed into a pillow before I did that.
the greatest reaction is Coach Beard, Ted, and Trent. When you see like Beard like trying to get Ted's attention to get him to look up. And then when Roy leaves the office and you just see Trent come in from the opposite direction and just like point with this awestruck look on his face. There's no words spoken.
Nobody knows what to say.
They just like kind of look at each other, realized it's kind of happened, and then just go their separate ways. It's such a brilliantly done comedic scene.
Yeah. And they're all wonderful in it.
No dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
It is perfect comedic acting. It's a chef's kiss of a comedic scene.
It is a chef's kiss.
I love it.
Roy comes back in. Doesn't he come back in too? He comes in and out of the room.
No. He just comes in, he puts his bag down, they nod, and then he leaves. Because that's when Trent comes in from the other side. Okay. Now, using this, as I mentioned, how there's a little bit of growth in everybody.
Yeah.
That tie-dye shirt kind of leads to the slightest amount of growth from Beard. Because at the end of the episode, we see Trent and Beard having that conversation. And Trent is kind of wanting to learn more about Beard and says, like, where are you from? And Beard's like, none of your business. And then Roy comes in with the tie-dye shirt. He sees that Roy has grown a little bit and he's willing to wear more shirts. So what does he do? He tells Trent, I'm from Peoria. Like, yeah. he opened up. Beard doesn't do that.
No. I mean, we don't even know his real name in the show.
No. Not at this point. But
right.
Beard has opened up to Trent. That has never happened with Beard before. The only person who knows Beard is Ted.
And really, does he? How many axes do you have?
No, because he learns about the axes.
He goes, oh, she's not going to be able to carry all those axes.
Wait, you have, and they're all here in the UK? Well, I'm not going to leave them in another country. I'm not going to leave my axes in another country. You're right. Like, even Ted doesn't know Beard completely. Beard is an enigma.
Right.
But again, it's that little bit of growth that Beard opens up to Trent, tells him where he's from.
So on that note, during that scene, Beard is reading the book, Finding the Mother Tree, Discovering the Wisdom of the Forest.
I'm glad you looked, because
it is an autobiographical account of this author, Suzanne Simard. It's an autobiographical account of her role in developing the theory that came to be known as the Wood Wide Web, which is about how trees communicate and share nutrients to support each other, a distinct contrast to prevailing theories that trees and maybe even other organisms primarily compete. What does that sound like to you?
Tell me.
To me, it sounds like we're taking a bunch of world-class athletes that have always been in it for themselves, and we have developed them into a team-wide web that communicate and share nutrients to support each other. That they have become a team. That Beard has had a direct role in the development of this team that has connected with each other. And in this connection, he has now made a connection with Trent, who is a part of this team now. So now he must share his information with Trent.
Well, and I'll even take it to another way to look at it too, is that whole team aspect of everybody coming together. That's actually Richmond's new play style now too.
That's what I'm saying. Total football, right?
It's total football.
Development. Yeah. That's the development that.
Oh, I thought you meant like personally for Beard. Like this.
No.
Okay.
He has had a direct role in teaching this team with Ted, obviously, how to be a network for each other instead of one single organism. So I think it's interesting that he's reading this book of the journey that he's already taken.
Well, and it just goes to
I also want this book.
It also goes to show you the brilliance of Beard. Like
that should be like the Tao of Pooh. We should make a book that says the brilliance of Beard.
The brilliance of Beard.
Always have 17 X's.
That could be a chapter.
It's number 1.
Yeah. Number 1 chapter.
Don't forget your axes.
Always have 17 axes.
But, you can even say that he carries around his axes with him as a metaphor to he always has an axe to grind with somebody. Namely, right now, Nate.
Well, look at what happens, in that whole scene is he shows like he's celebrating Nate's downfall.
With an axe party.
Yeah, and he literal targets with him with a bullseye on his crotch.
He says, what does he say? Karma's delivery to the Wonder Turd.
And then I think it's Ted that says, like, don't you find it ironic that you're celebrating somebody's bad karma by,
with your,
don't you think you are going to get bad
karma?
Or, don't you think it's bad karma to celebrate someone else's bad karma? And Beard's like, no.
It's like, I don't care.
He doesn't care. But, so going back to Uncle Day and Roy and Jamie, focusing on Roy just for one more second, is we kind of see the lead up to that conversation with Beard, or that conversation with Roy and Keeley at the end, and that he takes Phoebe to school, and he runs into Miss Bowen, and Miss Bowen, like, she even sees that Roy is different. Like, he's kind of released a little bit. He doesn't look like he has as much of a weight on his shoulder. She even says, like, you look lighter.
Because he was stuck in his own shit.
Yeah. And she kind of sees that. And, we get the very clear indication that, yes, like, there was flirting between, or at least from one side of it. Yeah. Like, these two, and I won't lie, I would have been interested to see it.
Me too.
I would have been interested to see him at least try it. If he wasn't going to be with Keeley, like, we still want to see Roy happy. So
I think that Miss Bowen would have made him happy.
I do too. And I think in her own way, she still did help.
And, they can be friends.
Well, because she says, and I have this in my quotes, and I only wrote it down in quotes. It's not even necessarily for quotes. I don't have the whole thing. But she says, like, I'm a teacher. I don't mind cleaning up a mess. And, Roy that's kind of like the realization that Roy comes to, is like, this is a mess. I need to clean this up. And that's when he goes and he buys the card, and we see him go through all the different sheets of paper to kind of write the message to Keeley. And what I love about that message to Keeley is that he starts by reading it and then stops and speaks to Keeley. He's no longer reading this message.
Yeah.
He's talking to Keeley.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't break eye contact, because I have it. It says, "Dear Keeley, I want you to know something. You never did anything wrong. It was all me. I was stuck in my own shit, and I didn't want to cause you any harm with it. So I pulled away, but you are." And then at that point, he stops reading the message.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks up, he says, "You are and always will be Keeley fucking Jones.
Yeah.
And if I ever did anything at all that made you feel like that wasn't true, I'm sorry. I love you. Sincerely yours, Roy Kent XOXO." And she's like, "You are the only Roy I know." And he's like, "Well, I didn't want to assume." But like, just seeing that, like, that is huge growth for both of these characters in each other. Roy can speak to Keeley now, and now Keeley knows she doesn't always fuck things up on her own.
Yeah.
For everybody who loves Roy and Keeley together, it's a huge moment.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know, as you said, what happens next.
It's a hopeful moment.
It's a hopeful moment.
Yeah.
That seeing a fracture between these two is being mended.
Yeah.
It's huge.
100%. Mm-hmm. 100%.
But now let's switch from Roy to the other half of Happy Uncle's Day in the partnership and talk about Jamie.
Jamie did good this week.
I love what Jamie does
for Sam
in this episode. Seeing that Sam didn't make his Nigerian team and having him go out there representing Sam, wearing 24, is huge. It's huge.
This is the second time that he has supported Sam when Sam's country has failed him.
Yeah. This goes to show you, again, growth.
Mm-hmm.
How far Jamie has come. Jamie is no longer, he hasn't been for a while. Jamie is no longer about himself.
I wish he'd change his wardrobe. God, that last outfit he wore.
Well, there are some elements of Jamie that'll never change.
I know. That stupid icon hat is one of them.
But Jamie is no longer about himself.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie is for the team and his players.
And he loves Sam.
Yeah.
He really loves Sam.
And the fact that, like, he didn't tell Sam he was doing it, he just did it. He didn't ask Sam if it was okay. He's like, no, this is my gift to Sam.
Well, it's not even that. It's Jamie choosing to stand up for what's right. Sam Obisanya is one of the best players in the league. And
well, that's even said in the beginning during like the news broadcast, the sports broadcast.
Right.
Like, it's undeniable that Sam is going to make the Nigerian team. And then he does it.
It was obviously done on purpose. Like, it was a head scratcher for anybody that knows Sam Obisanya as a football player.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we do find out in the conversation between Edwin and Sam at the restaurant that this is 100% intentional. This is spiteful from Edwin.
And I'm pretty sure that, anybody that understands the weird, politics of football could probably put it together. But, the average fan doesn't. And the average fan is just like, I'm sorry, my favorite player doesn't get to play for his country?
Yeah.
You've got to be kidding me.
Yeah. So, yeah, just the fact that Sam goes out there and makes this incredible gift to Sam and pays tribute. And when Sam sees it, like, the happiness on his face, like, that he is being represented in these games. I don't even think Sam sees it as like, oh, I'm being represented. I think he sees it as in like, this is my teammate.
My
like,
friend is supporting me.
My friend is supporting me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This would have been a perfect moment for a Nora scene. For Nora to like call Rebecca and just start screaming about the fact that Sam Obasanya did not make the Nigerian team and how can she fix it? Because no.
Yeah. Yeah, because we don't see Nora again. Like we're finished with Nora.
We're done with Nora. And this would have been perfect to just inject a little bit of Nora because we all love her so much.
Yeah.
Boss ass bitch.
Boss ass bitch. Yeah. It's so like, you know, obviously we see, and, you know, and again, we see that little bit of glimmer of hope at the end too. And when they're back in the locker room, Sam takes out the picture of an older Nigerian team and puts it in his locker.
94 team.
The 94 team. Like he knows, like.
Did that team win? Do we know like why it was the 94 team? Was he born in 1994?
1994 Nigerian World Cup team. Let me see. I don't know. Oh wait, no, hold on. What was that? Oh, I don't know if it says it or not. How far did Nigeria's reached the FIFA World Cup on 6 occasions, the first being in 1994.
Okay.
Where they reached the second round. So it was the first year that squad was the first time Nigeria ever made the World Cup.
Okay. There we go.
So, yeah, but, you know, the dream is not dead for Sam.
No.
It's still a goal. It's still an aspiration.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So that's why the picture is in his locker.
Mm-hmm. And then we have Danny and Zorro.
Thank you. No. We don't have we don't have Danny. We have Nega Danny. we have Danny Rojas's dark competitive clone.
His Mr. Hyde, if
yes.
you will.
The scene where him and Van Damme are on the plane and Van Damme offers him chips and Danny just takes the bag and crushes it and turns it over and pours out the crumbs.
Okay, so
and just puts the bag back on Van Damme's
all I can
head.
think about is the fact that they're in first class and there is smelly Dorito dust all over the floor.
It's just, this is a dark side of Danny. And I loved it. It's so.
And well, what I love it though is at the end, like he comes up to Zorro and he's just like, "Hey man, what a game, huh? Crazy game." And Zorro's like, I am legitimately afraid of you. Like, I don't even know how to talk to you.
Well, Danny broke his nose in the game.
He goes, well, my nose is broken. He's like, I know, that was quite a hit, huh? He's just like, oh, hey, ho, Danny Rojas. Like, he's so funny.
It's the flip of a switch. Like, he turns into this dark competitive person and now it's off and he's back to being Danny again, loving football and his teammates. And it's like, that wasn't me. That was a different Danny.
Yeah, right.
Because it was.
Mm-hmm.
It was Nega Danny.
He had a pretty good game, I guess. So it was really funny, though. Yeah, I really liked that dynamic between the two of them. I thought it was fantastic.
Looking at my notes, I only have, I mean, we can talk a little bit more about the Sam and Edwin conversation, but there's really not a lot to really kind of discuss about it. It's just Edwin being spiteful. He cancels all the reservations because he wants to bring in his own Nigerian restaurant to compete with Sam's. He's just, it's petty, childish behavior against Sam. Mm-hmm. That's really all that conversation comes down to.
Yeah.
Let me see.
At the very beginning, we have Shorty Shorts that is sucking up to Rupert on the television. You know, he's like, I don't think Rupert's done anything too bad because he knows there's a job opening at West Ham, is my guess.
I didn't even really think about it that way. Well, we find out, like, in that conversation, he's never liked Nate.
He doesn't like anybody that comes from Richmond.
Yeah. Well, because he got fired from Richmond.
Right. But all of a sudden, there's an opening for head coaching position at West Ham. So I feel like Shorty Shorts is going to be like, well, I think Rupert makes great decisions all the time because he's amazing and I miss my short shorts.
I miss my short shorts. No, that's a good possibility. I didn't even really look at it that way, but yeah, I can see that. The only other thing I have in my notes before we go into spoiler territory is there is a 2-person cameo in this episode.
Oh,
And
I know it.
Both of these people have been on my podcast.
They're both from Whose Line Is It Anyways?
They're both from Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Is one of them named Colin?
Yes, and the other one is named Ryan. For anybody who does not know, the announcers during the Mexico-Canada game are Colin Mockery and Ryan Stiles.
Which is perfect. I bet you they improvised the entire thing.
I think I read that they did. I think they just put the footage in front of them and they just kind of let them riff.
I love
a little bit. But yeah, I've had Colin and Ryan both at separate times, but both on Wilhelm. They were great guests. I love.
That's awesome.
Actually, Colin's been on a number of times. I've had Colin on like 3 times. You
should have him come on again and talk about Lasso.
I don't know how much he's going to have to say about it, but
who cares?
We'll see. Yeah.
We'll see. Does he have a sentence?
That's true. That's all he really needs to do.
Yeah. I just need
anything else from you before we go into spoilers?
I did want to make a mention of knowing that hang on, what's his name? Nick Mohammed is an accomplished violinist. That is him playing.
I did not know that.
And the person that is playing piano is his wife accompanying him.
Oh.
And they have the scarves and the magic hat as he's looking through all of his stuff in the attic because Nick Mohammed is also a magician.
I did not know that either.
I thought those were all fun little tidbits.
That's amazing. And the only other thing I will say is we've talked about this in a number of different episodes, but the music in this episode, there's so much great music in this episode. We talked about
like the violin work.
We talked about Nick Cave and Red Right Hand, Middle Kids, Golden Star. The song that is playing when Nate is looking through the photo album is called Light by Michael Kiwanuku. And then Union Jack by Big Audio Dynamite, which is what plays during the credits. I love Big Audio Dynamite. You don't hear them enough. Done Do Me No Good by Bahamas. Like, there's so much great music.
Yeah.
In this episode.
I really love the violin piece, though, because the violin piece, it just it connects all these characters going through these huge transformative moments over this gorgeous piece of music that is played by Nate.
It is called I'm Spiegel. It's called Spiegel, I'm Spiegel.
Yeah.
No, Spiegel, im Spiegel.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Yeah, it doesn't have by Arvo Brott.
I didn't look into any of that. I just, I didn't look into any of that.
Yeah. But yeah, another great music. More great music choices in this episode. Was great. All right. So then, that was a long conversation. It's going to be a little lengthier episode, but again, there was a lot to talk about. But we're not done. So for those of you who are watching for the first time, we're going to dive into spoilers for a couple minutes. So we're
going to talk about Ted the whole time.
No, we got some other stuff.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to talk about Ted the whole time.
But yeah, just check the show notes to find out when to come back in. We'll talk about some of our favorite quotes and feedback and recommendations. I want to start with this.
Welcome to spoilers.
Welcome
to spoilers.
Rebecca's mirror moment.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah. What is it?
The little girl. The little girl is the little girl that comes running to Rebecca in the series finale.
She becomes a mom. It's how she becomes a mom.
that little girl. She sees herself as that little girl, but that little girl also plays the daughter of the pilot.
It's her future. It's her future.
It's not just her past; it's her future.
It's her lightning. It's her lightning.
I love it.
She's at the top. She got her lightning. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm like so excited by that
No.
little tidbit. Thank you so much for saying it.
Did you not have it in your spoiler notes?
No, because I told you, I just have Ted.
Oh, okay. That's right. All right.
I wasn't
So then,
lying.
before we go into Ted, then let me do mine because mine are really quick. Beard's thoughts on Nate are going to change next episode.
Oh, I can't wait. I might watch it as soon as we're done.
The end of next week's episode,
Phenomenal.
the backstory on Beard is it's one of my favorite moments from all of season 3.
And I have forgotten most of it. So I'm excited to rewatch it because I know how powerful it was the first time I watched it. And I remember thinking to myself, holy shit, this is amazing.
Yeah.
But I can't wait to rewatch it.
I
forgot the details.
Again, it is one of my favorite moments of season 3.
Yes.
Is Beard's backstory.
Anything
because it comes along with an apology to Nate. Well, not an apology to Nate, but an understanding.
Yeah, he doesn't owe Nate an apology.
Yeah.
Nate owes him an apology.
It's forgiveness to Nate.
It's forgiveness and it's letting go.
Yeah.
Which ultimately propels both of them into coaching positions.
Yeah.
Which is wonderful.
Rupert's assistant. We know why she is no longer with Rupert. There is a mention at the beginning of this episode about workplace. How is
proximity
it
partners?
No. There is the conversation during Girl Talk. When they're in the office and but Leslie's the directors of Beep Operations.
I think that's wonderful. That's like Marshall Erickson's funk band from How I Met Your Mother that was called The Funk, The Whole Funk, and Nothing But the Funk. Because they were all a bunch of lawyers.
Inappropriate workplace behavior over at West Ham.
Oh, yes.
There was rumblings of that, and they lean in and be like, do you think Nate can be involved in it? And they're like, no. Well,
do you think Nate maybe blew the whistle on it?
Maybe, but we are going to find out Rupert is the one that is inappropriate workplace behavior, because we're going to see in the finale that both Bex and that assistant come to Rebecca for advice.
So I would like to think that Nate was so mad at what Rupert expected him to be like that he quit, and then he did an anonymous tip to the press about that, because that is something that Nate would do, because he does have those darker kind of sneaky dick moves in him, as we've seen over the last season. And my guess is that he wanted to stick it to Rupert because everything about Rupert became clear in that moment. And he has seen last week, and Nate saw his role in what he has done to the Richmond team, right? And I think that this is his first step in apologizing.
Yeah. I wouldn't, you know what? I wouldn't put it past Nate.
I literally just had this thought. I could be wrong.
I wouldn't put it past Nate at all.
I think it would be kind of cool. You know, he's like, hell yeah, I took that guy down for you, Rebecca. Now, can I be the Kit Man again? Where do we stand on that Kit Man situation?
Yeah. And then the only other one I have, and then I'll let you get into your TED stuff, is Barbara and the snow globe. This is not the last we see of that snow globe.
Yay!
Barbara has given the snow globe back to Keeley, but Keeley will re-gift that snow globe one more time.
I don't remember.
She gives it to Ted when Ted leaves.
Oh, because he's leaving the job.
He's leaving the job.
So let's go into this for a second. This is a great segue.
Okay.
Ted officially now lifts out of the show. Ted has created such a wonderful culture at Richmond that they don't need him anymore. In fact, we have gone back to them kind of looking at him a little strangely with his corniness, because I feel like this episode, he was a little extra corny. Like he's like, well, I always say, or I like to think that blah, blah, blah. Like a couple of the things that he said, I don't think fit with the conversation like they used to. His corniness used to fit very nicely into the cooler environment of Richmond, right? He brought in this big warm energy to a very cold, very disjointed team, right? But we go into this episode and he has created this wonderful, beautiful team and front office and coaching staff and players and the whole spirit of Richmond. Ted did that. But now they've evolved past him, I think. And we've gotten to the point now that Ted very easily lifts out of this show. As we saw, we didn't need him in this episode at all.
Yeah, because we don't have him. We get very little of it. He is literally just a coach.
Isn't that great, though? Right?
It shows the growth of these characters and how this story involved so much more than just the lead character, just the titular character.
100%.
Yeah.
And so I don't think if you are paying attention to this show, that him announcing that he's going back home next episode, it shouldn't be a surprise.
Well, even next episode, he never says he's going home. He just says,
he says, I have a doozy for you.
He says, I've got a doozy for you. And that's how the episode ends. Now, I mean, it's implied, and most people know at that point, like, oh, shit, Ted's going home.
Mm-hmm. But this episode is the first episode, because I've been looking at season 3, like, where does Ted kind of leave the team? Where is it that he leaves the team in this season? It's this episode. Ted's gone. The team can run itself.
I think from a show perspective, yes. I think Ted is...
Oh, no, he definitely hasn't realized it yet. But Ted's gone this episode.
Ted's out of... he's on the verge of out of the story at this point. Because even next week when we go into Mom City and we dive into a lot of that is personal closure. It's not team closure. It's personal stuff within Ted. It's dealing with his relationship with his mother. It's dealing with the loss of his father. It's a lot of that, which I kind of feel like Ted needed before he could go home.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there are definite wounds that he needs to at least attempt to fasten together before he can go back home. Yeah. And his relationship with his mom, reconciling the way that he feels about his father and his father's suicide, and his what is waiting for him back home. Who is waiting for him back home? That all needs to be ironed out before he can go back home. His professional life is stable. His professional life is fine. He needs to work out the personal part before he can go home. And I think that that's done very, very beautifully next week.
Well, I'll even take it a little bit further than that. When you say like his professional life is solid, when we see him, this again, good thing we're in spoiler territory.
That's why I wanted to talk about Ted in spoilers only.
When we see him return home, we don't see him back in a professional coaching role. He's literally he's coaching Henry, in probably his middle school baseball team. It's his school baseball team. He's stepping up probably
soccer.
Soccer. Sorry, not baseball.
Baseball.
I don't know why I said baseball.
Fuck is wrong with you? I'm just kidding. I love you.
We see him kind of what is probably most likely a volunteer role, because middle school schools don't pay their coaches. They pull teachers in and volunteers and parents to do it.
I think he does rec. I don't think that he actually, if you're a coaching position at a school, that means you work at the school.
Oh, maybe. So like a gym teacher or something.
I think that it's rec. I think that it's just he's doing community soccer.
But again, it's not a professional sports team. Like he's not back coaching football. He's not coaching a major league soccer team. He's just doing rec. He has gotten to a point that we see Nate get to in this episode, in that there are more important things. And when he gets home, he has them.
When he gets home, he also knows I didn't get to be Henry's dad for 3 years.
He's making up time.
It's time for me to he has, my guess, a pile of money from Richmond. He will never have to work again. In fact, I can see Rebecca being like, here's $10 million as a thank you.
Severance. Or
here are shares in ownership of the team, because we know that she's about to sell off half the team, or 49 or 48% of the team.
What if Ted does own shares of Richmond? Like, that's his way of taking Richmond with him.
Yeah. So he keeps Richmond with him as part owner. And let's just assume that maybe this happened. Okay. Like it's a thought experiment. Okay.
Okay.
And he goes home knowing that he can just be a dad and the money will be there.
Well, and I will say too, going on another scene from the finale, unless he does it after he gets home, he does not own shares, because he doesn't see that Rebecca did it until he's in the airport and he sees the newspaper.
Right. Well, my guess is that Rebecca held shares for him.
That could be a possibility.
Because there is no Richmond. There is nothing that Rebecca has right now would ever have happened if Ted hadn't come to England.
Well, we see her try everything in her power to keep Ted there.
Yeah. I think she even offered to fly Michelle and Henry out.
Yeah.
And put them up in, castles
she
or
did.
something like that.
She offered to get her a job, get Michelle a job as a teacher, and let her get her degree, and and Henry will go to the best schools, and
right.
Rebecca tries everything she can to keep Ted there.
And there's nothing to say that he won't come back eventually. He could be a consultant. He doesn't have to be the coach, but right now Ted needs to go home and he needs to be a dad.
Yeah.
That is everything for a kid.
And it's also what is important to Ted. In that moment, that is what's more important.
What's important to Ted is Henry. And what Henry needs is his father. And so Ted knows he needs to go be a father for his son, who is the only important thing in his life. Really, truly, when you cut it all down, it's Henry.
Yeah.
And Ted has gone on his own journey, and he has grown as his own man, and he has been able to heal the trauma from his past in England. And so he can come home a better man, a healed man, a family man. And there's just, I don't know, that's just really beautiful. I hate that he leaves. I hate that the show's over. I hate that I don't get these people in my life anymore. Selfishly, I'm pretty pissed off that the show ended when it did, but everybody's story has naturally concluded by the end of this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, we find out by the end of this show, by the end of this 3-season arc, that we know was always the intention of the writers. They had a story that was going to be told for 3 seasons. And that's the story that they told. And we get to the end of it and we realize it. And there's a great moment in that finale that we'll definitely dive into as well with Trent's book and the renaming of Trent's book, is that we find out that this show was called Ted Lasso, but it was never about Ted.
Never about Ted.
Ted was just a key component. It was never about Ted.
Right.
It was always about the team.
Right. And I think that that's the message that Ted was trying to send the whole time anyways. It's never been about him. He has never made it about him. He has never wanted it to be about him.
It still blows my mind, the brilliance of Jason Sudeikis and Brendan Hunt, that this entire story, all 3 seasons, every one of these characters, every single one of them, came from a series of sketches they did for ESPN. Who would have ever thought the first time you saw a short sketch of this hillbilly coach doing a press conference and knowing nothing about soccer.
You mean Led Tasso?
No. Ted
I'm
Lasso.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who would have ever thought when you saw those sketches years ago, it would turn into this brilliant piece of storytelling that has won Emmys and has gotten these people so much notoriety and has done so many wonderful things for people.
I couldn't have gotten through the pandemic without this show.
Me neither.
Honestly, I could not have gone through this pandemic without Ted Lasso.
I know this is something that probably should be said again when we finish the series.
Yeah.
But it needs to be said now too. Like it needs to be said.
Because we see that Ted's England story has ended.
Yes. Yeah.
How's that? Ted's England story has ended.
Yeah.
Ted's personal story is really beginning in these last 2 episodes.
It's hitting a peak because sorry. It doesn't do good for audio. I'm doing peak as in like going up and then down. Ted's story is kind of, I can't even picture the wavelength because I don't want to say down and then up. Although in a sense it kind of is. Because there's a lot that Ted needed to realize about himself and his life. And then when he returns home, it's going to be back on an uptick. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll think about it. We have a couple weeks to think about it. But as far as this episode goes, I feel that Ted was unnecessary in this episode, but in the best way.
Yeah, it's a good indication that Ted is not
needed.
I don't want to say not needed because he's definitely needed, but Ted's influence is needed. Ted himself is not. I think maybe that's a way to put it.
Like we could get by with a believe sign and a statue.
His influence is already ingrained in this team.
Yeah.
And now that it's there, Ted's not as important. Maybe.
Not as necessary.
Necessary is probably the word. Important's not the word. He's very important to that team and to those people. Necessary is the word.
All right. So. Well, I think that we should end spoilers with that wonderful thought.
All right. So then welcome back into everybody. Let's do some of our favorite quotes from the episode. And then we have a good amount of feedback that we're going to get to as well. Let's see.
I got one. Can I start?
Yep, go for it.
Okay. Hang on. I got to go to it real quick. Hang on. I'm very excited about this. Oh, where is it? Blah, 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 blah. Here it is. Your sister is fit. I'll cut your eyes out.
And I love in that moment, too, that Jamie just starts laughing because he just did it to mess with Roy.
I know.
He starts immediately laughing as soon as Roy responds. And he just did it to mess with Roy.
I'll cut your eyes right out.
I love a little bit later when in that conversation between Roy and Miss Bowen, when Roy realizes the mess he makes and he says fudge instead of fuck for starters. And then after he leaves, Miss Bowen, just being Miss Bowen, goes, I don't mind cleaning up a mess. Smooth move, fuckwitch.
Yeah, I know. Come on, kids, time to go back in.
But the mouth on Miss Bowen is just... And I think that's one of the reasons why I would have been okay if there was like a Miss Bowen Roy ship.
Yeah.
Because she kind of is a little bit like Roy. She has that foul mouth.
Oh, yeah, she does. Fucking glitter.
Fucking glitter. Smooth move, fuckwitch. Oh God, what is it? Oh, the conversation between May and Keely. Now, I'm going to get you some food. Because I can't have another sad skinny girl pass out in my pub. Fucks with me Yelp rating. I love May so much.
I love Yeah, I do too. I love every single character. I just kept saying all the time, oh, I love this character. Oh, I love this character, like through the whole episode. I think, I don't have the quote in front of me, but I think that everything that Nate's dad said to Nate after he played the violin was incredibly touching.
Yeah, that whole scene is just amazing. And I'm trying to find it just so I can kind of read it a little bit. Let's see.
Well, you find it. Stuff. We also have the, why are you coming through the window? And he says, you moved the key.
There's the whole long speech that Rebecca gives.
I have it.
Oh, I know, but I don't know if we.
No, we all know what it looks like.
Yeah. I definitely went too far because I don't see it. So in the meantime, while I'm still looking for it, is there it is. So you're telling me it only shows up once a month and it never skips a month? Only
Unless
if you're pregnant. Well, shoot, I got to check out this wine delivery service. Sounds like a real quirker.
I do like that. I thought that was lovely. I love what they talk about, and that whole, I don't know if it was that scene or if it was earlier when they're trying to get where Rebecca's trying so hard to gossip with Ted and Trent is sitting there and Trent's like, you know what I heard, blah, blah, blah. And Rebecca's like, right there. That's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of girl talk that we need, Ted. Okay.
Okay. So here's the speech with Nate and his father. After he makes the excuse to come home, Nate says, sorry if I disturbed you. No, not at all. I really miss hearing you play. You do? Of course. Thought you hated it when I played. Why on earth would you think that? Because you literally said that to me once, Dad. You said I wouldn't practice enough, how I was squandering my potential and wasting my privilege. You were given, and then his father, you were given opportunities I never had, and so I expected a lot from you. What scared the shit out of me. I know that now, and I'm sorry. I didn't know how to parent a genius. You're brilliant, son. You've always seen things other people couldn't, and that's a blessing. Yet I know it must also be a curse, too. But you're right. I pushed you to be the best at everything, even violin, because I thought that's what I had to do. I thought that's what you wanted. And Nate says, I just like playing. Nathan, be successful, don't be successful. I never cared about any of that. I just want to see my son happy. And then that's
the wish of any parent. Any parent worth their salt.
Yeah.
A lot of parents look at their kids as a possible meal ticket if they're good at something. But Nate was raised by two very good parents. You can see that. You can see the care in both of his parents. You can see the love at the end with that card game. You can see that they were a family once and they are now a family again. And that's just beautiful. This whole episode was beautiful. Everything was just so lovely in this episode. Just these small, quiet moments surrounded by big, transformative changes.
Yeah, growth.
Yeah.
Transformation and growth. Like they're the two key words of this episode.
Yeah.
I have two more quick quotes and then we can move on to feedback. All right. Well, let's go ahead and wish our friends safe travels and Godspeed or whatever narcotic your deity chooses to self-medicate. a proper Ted Lasso line.
I love Ted Lasso.
And then from Happy Uncle Day, Phoebe told me that Uncle's Day is her favorite holiday of the year. Fuck off. Yeah, seriously. It was Uncle's Day, Uncle Roy's birthday, and then Perchtenloften, the German holiday where people dress up as evil spirits and roam the streets in order to scare winter away. She might be an old soul, but she's a proper fucking dweeb, isn't she?
You know what, though? I mean, Roy is doing such a good job as a father figure to his niece.
He loves that girl.
That's his
so
daughter.
much.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
his daughter.
Yeah.
Him and his
she
sister
might-
have a kid together. It's weird, but it's true.
she might as well will be like that.
Yep.
He's her father figure.
Yep. And that's why they have Uncle's Day, because Father's Day wouldn't be appropriate and Roy wouldn't want to celebrate himself on Father's Day. So they made Uncle's Day.
Happy Uncle's Day.
So cute.
I
would like to think that banner gets carefully put away and put back up every single year. That's made out of sheets of notebook paper.
There's a very, I didn't notice it until second watch, but there is a very underlying line that shows that Jamie is also pretty good with kids. I'm trying to find it. I can kind of like.
I think Jamie also just really likes Phoebe.
I think so too.
Because she's not like a regular kid. She speaks like an adult.
There's a scene. So in the scene where Phoebe goes to the door and brings Jamie in, you can hear him say, like, "Is that your Range Rover outside?" Like he's playing with Phoebe.
Yeah.
Like there's good indication that that Jamie is also probably really good with kids, and like you said, just likes Phoebe.
Yeah. Yeah. You talk. What do you mean Jamie isn't your best friend? You talk about him all the time. When he says that, it's like Jamie's like, "Oh, really?" And then Roy has this like, "Shut up and stop talking" look on his face.
It's such a great scene. I love that scene so much.
Yeah. Well, there's so much goodness with Roy and Jamie coming up next week. I can't even wait. And in the finale.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I can't wait. Can't wait.
All right. We're over 2 hours already. So let's move on to. No, it's fine. We knew this was going to be a longer episode.
So much. There's so much in this episode.
I expect the next two to be the same, because there's a lot to talk about as we get to the end of this series. But let's dive into some of the listener feedback, in which, like I said, we have 4 voicemails, we have some Facebook feedback, and we have an email. I want to start with that email we got, because it's kind of generalized. So
okay.
I sent it over to you, so if you wouldn't mind reading it,
sure.
Go for it.
Ben and Kristin, I'm catching up on some revisited podcasts I missed this summer, so I'm sorry this email is so late. I wanted to comment on some of the things I've heard lately. I had written in before and talked about relating to Kristin because I am a teacher, a fan of The West Wing, and love Fraggle Rock. You asked where and what I teach. I am a band director at a high school in Texas. I have previously written to the Walking Dead cast and have even guested on a couple of things with Jason. Awesome. For signs, Kristin went on a great rant about the lack of accountability in students today. I was shouting in my car in agreement with what she was saying. The way schools have shifted to make parents the bosses of their kids' education has baffled me. Teachers are always to blame and are seemingly dispensable. Administrations always take the side of the kid, never the adult. I was so sorry to hear of all you went through, Kristin. Not fair to you at all. Thank you. For the strings that bind us, excuse me for 1 second. Because it's true, I went through a lot last year. I'm still not over it.
You did.
Oh, gosh. For the strings that bind us, I heard the announcement of The Good Place as your next show. I started to watch it based on your recommendation, but I think you meant to say West Wing. I am currently on my 30th rewatch, and it is the show I have playing in the background all of the time. My kids have never seen it, but can sing the theme song as it is always playing. So if you need a guest host for The West Wing, the real show you are covering next, I'm happy to volunteer. I'll even start my own podcast on it with Kristin if Ben doesn't want to dive in. In all seriousness, your podcast is amazing and makes my drive to and from work better every day. Thank you for all you do, and I look forward to catching up. Namaste, baby. Mark Nichols. Thank you, Mark. That was wonderful. And I have to tell you that as somebody who walks by the band room every single day, I commend you and your hearing and your ears for what you put yourself through every single day. Because I walk by the band room and I want to cry. So
it is a testament. I am a band geek. I can say that.
Made me cry.
Yeah, you got the Kristin a little bit. I am a former band geek. I did it all through high school, some middle school, all through high school, even into college. Band geek is a loving term for me. I don't think it's derogatory at all. And so much so that I actually wanted to be a music teacher. Like, that's how much of an influence music teachers and band directors can have on their students. It's a shame that the arts get attacked and they're usually the first things to go during budget cuts. Because of a testament that what the teachers can do and what they mean to students. I've mentioned this in earlier episodes. I don't remember how long ago. My music teacher from high school, my band director, is somebody I still am in contact with to this day. Like, we are friends on Facebook.
That's awesome.
So I won't
friend any of my students on Facebook or otherwise.
Well, I think it's one thing to do it.
It's been long enough for you. Yeah.
Yeah. It's one thing to do it while you're still their teacher.
Even when they're not my student anymore. And like the last day of school, I always get a few friend requests at the end of the year. And I don't accept any of them. No.
Yeah.
Unless we have a, personal relationship, no. That's where I have to protect myself too.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty vocal on the social media that I do have, pretty vocal about what I believe. And I'm pretty sure that some of it could get me fired at work.
Yeah. Well, it was well over like a decade.
Right.
That my music teacher and I became.
Yeah.
Shout out to Adrian Mazar. Mazar. I love the fact that you're a band director. Like, I have so much
love that.
that.
Kudos to you, man. I couldn't do it.
Yeah. All right. We have a piece of Facebook feedback as well. So why don't you handle that too? This one won't make you cry.
No, it won't. He's so funny. He's like, why don't you read that one too? I'll just press play on all the videos. My microphone is no longer working, so I'm just going to hold it. Okay, here we go. The stand has broken. All right. Okay. Next piece of feedback we have is from Megan Lehman. Hi, Megan. I absolutely love this episode because I'm a sucker for anything like the Olympics where countries compete in international sportsmanship, and because it gave us a glimpse into the wider world of soccer that our characters live in and a sense of what they might do in the future as they advance in their careers. My absolute favorite part of the episode was Danny becoming evil, which was played to perfect hilarity. Poor Sam, left behind but not forgotten as his number is worn by his mates. And the downtime allowed other characters to get up to mischief as well. Loved Rebecca coming full circle with Rupert, trying to kiss her, and her reaction was just pity. But her performance at the dinner was legendary. Totally agree. Totally agree. And as we're recording this, it is the Olympics right now.
Yeah, and that's kind of appropriate.
Obsessed with the Olympics right now. So yeah,
really,
I agree.
I'm a Winter Olympics guy. Like,
I'm a Summer Olympics girl.
I appreciate the Summer Olympics, but I am totally a Winter Olympics person.
Yeah, my favorite sport in the whole world is Olympic swimming. I shout at the television for a week straight. It's awesome.
Now, 4 years from now, I will be more heavily invested in the Summer Olympics because they will be here in the United States.
Oh, yeah, whatever.
They're in LA.
Yeah, I know. And LA's got a big uphill battle to climb before they can even be ready. But that's a different conversation for a different day.
It's all right. I mean,
millions of homeless people in LA. They don't know what to do. No, they don't know what to do.
I mean, look, the United States is getting some really good stuff. I mean, and it's going to be a real good indication or interesting story to watch how they handle it, because Olympics are coming in 2028, We've got the World Cup coming in 2026. So, yeah, I mean, there's some interesting stuff happening. Anyway, that leads us to the voicemails that we have, in which Kristin says I get to just push buttons. And that's
Can
fair.
you press one good button real quick? Just one good button. The last time we get to play it. This is the last time we get to play it.
Fuck no.
No. I hate you.
Let's go find a fucking women!
Wait, I know which one it is. I know which one it is.
Jack just sucks.
Yeah, she does. All right. Let's go on.
Remember, it's just pooper.
All right. On to the voicemail.
Like I said, all he does is push buttons, guys.
But I do it so well.
I pushed all the buttons last time I was there.
Squirrel. All right. So this first one comes from our friend Jason, who actually leaves us feedback for the last 2 episodes. So this is for the locker room one. I don't want to pronounce it because I'll mispronounce it. And for international breaks. Here we go.
Hi, Ben and Kristin. This is Jason in San Jose giving feedback for La Locker Room a Full and International Break. After missing the deadline for the previous episode and the rescheduled date for the recording, I'm just getting around to adding my thoughts for episode 9, La Locker Room a Full, and I was so surprised that everyone missed the play on words for La Cage a Faux and not Folles. Anyway, La Cage aux Folles was a 1973 French farce centering on confusion that ensues when Laurent, the son of a Saint-Tropez nightclub owner and his gay lover, brings his fiancée's ultra-conservative parents for dinner. And La Cage aux Folles means the cage of mad women. Like I mentioned, this was a play in 1973. I saw the 1978 film in the early 80s with my parents, and just, it was hysterical. I just really, really loved it. It was later turned into a Broadway musical. The last piece of this episode, I Am What I Am, comes from that musical. And that bit of music received praise as a gay anthem. So yeah, this episode just really is an emotional one for me. I am a huge advocate for LGBTQ rights. And the locker room speech that Ted Lasso gives, that it's not okay just to be okay with Colin being gay, that we're there for support. Yeah, I have many, many friends in the LGBTQ community, and I combat misinformation left and right on social media, such as the Olympics, which is stirring up a shitstorm right now. I have been having fun watching the Olympics, and Ted Lasso has really given me a deeper appreciation for watching the football matches. Yeah, so I don't have much else to say on La Locker Room a Full, besides it was such a huge episode for Colin and McAdoo as well. Yeah, I'll just say that I got choked up talking about Ted Lasso to a friend of mine the other day, in the same manner that McAdoo at the end was saying, what's wrong with me that you don't feel comfortable telling me this? And Colin's reply about, I was 99% sure that you would be okay with it, but 1% scared the shit out of him. And I've had that conversation with a few people, including family members. And my love is there, and just really, really appreciated seeing how it was portrayed in this. So on to international break, and this was a fun episode to watch, especially with the character switch for Danny Rojas, just watching him turn on a dime into this vicious attacking player. And then at the end, with Zorro just being afraid of him. Oh, man, that was hysterical. But this episode also had a lot of character growth for Rebecca, for Roy, for Keely. Yeah, speaking of Keely, I really love that Barbara chose to stay with her. That was a really touching moment, and that Rebecca was generous enough to help out there. So much of this episode is about making amends, which is part of my 12-step program. Roy making amends to Keely, Nate making amends to Will, that little olive branch. And I really love seeing Nate with his violin. You know, for me, in my addiction, my guitar has been my salvation. And turning back to music is what helps lift me out of the fog. Yeah, I really felt for him in that conversation between him and his dad. I recognized a lot of the same things in the dynamics between me and my dad and me and my son. And lastly, I'll just chime in that it was so fun to see Akufo getting his comeuppance. I really wish we could have seen the explosive nature of the food flying everywhere, but it was so fun just to see Rebecca and Rupert just laughing their asses off after they're just smattered in food. Really, really great. Anyway, I'm so sad that there are only 2 episodes left, but I'm really looking forward to watching Mom City next week. And until then, this has been Jason in San Jose. Namaste, baby.
Jason, thank you for the explanation too of where the title of last week's episode come from.
It was also the inspiration for the birdcage.
Thank you. Because when he was talking
I was
about
waiting for him to say that too.
When he was talking about the description of it and everything, I was like, that sounds a lot like the birdcage.
It is the birdcage. La Cage de Folle. Yeah, it's the birdcage. Okay.
Which, I mean, Robin Williams. I mean, come on. Like, it's everybody who knows me knows my love for Robin. So I love the birdcage.
Yeah.
That movie is so well done. Nathan Lane is just amazing in that.
He's amazing in everything that he does because he's
True.
Nathan Lane.
True. All right. Next feedback voicemail comes from our friend Greg, who hasn't left us one in a while. And he has warned me this one's a little bit on the lengthier side. So let's go ahead and play that now.
Hello, Revisited. This is Greg, and I know I've been absent for a few weeks. But shit happens, and so does life, and so do kids, and a whole bunch of shit, right? Anyway, I have a whole mess of thoughts about last week's episode, but I'm going to go ahead and talk about this one, International Break, which is, one of those prime excellent episodes of the show. I'm going to start with my individual thoughts, and then I'll get into a couple of specific points. What narcotic would your deity self-medicate with? I think for me, it would be spaghetti monster mushrooms. I think that would be my preference. I will say that Happy Uncle's Day and the line, well, you made me think it. So it was basically the same thing. Cracks me up literally every time. I did want to, when Miss Bowen mentioned, you don't have to call me Miss Bowen. You don't know my name. I wanted to call her Fuckwitch. That's who I remember. That's what I remember. Now on to a couple of the main points. I will say that Edwin Akufu has taken over as head twat on the team, on the show. Rupert is still a twat, but he's obviously in this episode, I'm not going to say you feel sorry for him because fuck him. But regardless, like Akufu is has become like the real villain, at least up until this point. I did really enjoy and this is something that I saw on Ted Lasso Easter eggs on Instagram. They talk about Higgins' references to Willy Wonka, and then Edwin Akufu shows up in a purple suit, very similar to Willy Wonka's with Gene Wilder, and I thought that was really, really funny. The editing of Rebecca's speech during when she very specifically says, making heroes and villains of ordinary men, this game, right? But in this, you see Jamie giving tribute to Sam, wearing his number 24. He goes just showing the utmost respect for his teammate, who, he was kind of a villain in the beginning of the show, and he's become a hero. And then it shows Nate, right, who's playing the violin, and he was a hero who was made into a villain. It's just, fucking chef's kiss. It was phenomenal. I will just say that Rebecca and Keely's friendship is just so heartwarming. Every time I see scenes like this between them, Where, I mean, the line about, can you imagine you got back together with Rupert after all the shit he's done, and then Roy's coming in the background. I thought it was very well done, very well put together. It was very much he's standing right behind me, isn't he? All right, on to the main event, right? Nate in this episode. I've always been a heavy Nate apologizer, and I can appreciate you guys have kind of not changed your tune, but you haven't put as much hate on him in recent weeks. And I always have had a soft spot for Nate, even from the, when I first saw the end of season 2, I was furious, but basically from the beginning of watching season 3, like I empathize with Nate more. I did think it was, Jade being self-referential with regard to the Polish jokes. I thought that was actually quite funny, and she was a superstar, right? But they needed to give Nate room to grow on his own, so we had a plot device of having her removed from the equation because she'd just be there to support him. But the scene between Nate and his dad really, really affected me. I have what I think of is a very good relationship with my father, and I find myself very, very lucky in that. But it wasn't always that way. When I was a kid, he wasn't around very much, and it was because he was working, or he was trying to go to school, or he was trying to make my lives better, or our lives better. But I found him, because of his absences, I held this one very specific instance over his head. And now it kills me as a dad who's just trying to make ends meet to make things better for me and my kids. It kills me. It absolutely fucks me up. And holy fuck, I'm over 5 minutes. I'm very sorry. But I've been loving the podcast, and I will talk to you guys later. All right. Bye.
Can I just tell you how much I love Greg's feedback?
Thank you.
I think that it comes from such an honest and genuine part of himself.
I was literally just about to say I love hearing Greg's feedback.
That did not feel like 5 minutes to me.
Not that I don't love hearing everybody's feedback,
right?
But it's so I just love Greg's voice. Like
it's just very well thought out. His voice is fantastic. You have a voice for radio, my friend. Yeah. So good job. Thank you, Greg.
Yeah. Thank you for all of that. We're not done. We got a couple more. This next one comes from our good friend Alex.
Hey, y'all. Alex Greer here with feedback for Ted Lasso Season 3, Episode 10, International Break. So I want to start with the Akufo League. Fun fact, this storyline was ripped from the headlines because this almost happened a few years back. Now, I'm not going to pretend that I know all the details, but if you look it up, it's a wild story. I have to say, Sam Richardson is such a good actor. I somehow don't hate him, even though this was the very first time I ever saw him in anything. And with how petty and evil he is, normally I would absolutely hate this kind of an actor. So hats off to him. Also, Higgins, great question. Are the kids dead in Willy Wonka? I would really like to examine this a bit. And was Edwin Akufo's purple jacket at the meeting a nod to Willy Wonka? I think it may have been. Next, I want to talk a little bit about Keeley. I'd love to know more about the KJPR team. Other than the one guy and Barbara, everyone else was just set decorations with a pulse. I love you, Ben, but I'm Team Kristin with wanting a spinoff for these precise reasons. Speaking of Barbara, holy shout out to Juicy Couture, which I have not thought about since, 2007? And how in the heck is this the first time Keeley met May? What about the time they all went there with Rebecca's mother? If they went to the Crown and Anchor for that, Keeley would have gone other times too. And I don't buy this being their first meeting, especially with how extroverted Keeley is and how much care May has to the Richmond side of things. I don't know. I'm calling bullshit. Nate and his dad's scenes are so powerful. And I think it's just another way that this show deconstructs a toxically masculine trope we see in society. I want more dads to follow the Danny Tanner way. And I understand Nate's dad saying he didn't know how to parent a genius. It's probably the nicest way to ever admit you screwed up. But if there is one takeaway for any dad or parent in general, don't push your kids in a way that makes them feel like a perennial failure. Remember to give them some accolades. You can push them and drive them, but do it with compassion. Imagine how much psychologically stronger Nate would have been on this journey if his dad had this level of EQ 30 years ago. And now on for the rest. Holy shirt balls. Uncle's Day is in this episode. I 1000% did not remember that. And I also don't recall what happens with this. And maybe it's nothing, but I am shipping, yes, I said it, Jamie and Roy's sister. I have to say, when Danny Rojas was first introduced in season 1, I really liked his personality, his dynamic, and what he brought to the role. And I adore Christian Fernandez, so please don't interpret what I'm saying as slander in any way. I just feel like they diminished Danny Rojas over the final 2 seasons. He becomes as dumb as Roger Dorn in the 3rd Major League. Ben, I'm telling you, give it a chance. This whole evil Danny thing this episode just doesn't land, and they never give him any depth beyond surface level. Again, give me the spinoffs so I can get to know these characters better. Spinoffs can work. Speaking of which, did you start Frasier yet? Rupert's assistant, Olive Oil, was named Miss Cakes. The new assistant's name is Miss Bread. I wanted to put that down and let you guys talk about if this is a quip or just some level of symbolism. Decadent cake versus bland bread. I don't know what the context. And lastly, just a quick aside, I wanted to say something last week, but Kristin, I did want to share my condolences over what has happened with your once beloved LeBron James Los Lakers. I imagine it was not a magical draft weekend. But that's it for me this week. Keep up the great work. I am so forking excited for the final stretch.
No, that was it. Okay.
Thanks, dude. Thanks for bringing that up. I appreciate that. It was such a good voicemail until you brought that up. Fucking Bronny James on the Lakers. I just wanted to die. I just couldn't even believe it.
That's the second reference to the second voicemail too that referenced the Willy Wonka thing that we didn't even bring up.
And I have it in my notes too. I just didn't bring it up because we talked enough for 2 hours about it.
And I didn't even pick up on the purple suit, like him wearing the purple suit as like a potential reference to Willy Wonka.
Yeah, very Willy Wonka. I do like the fact that he did that he picked up on Miss Bread and Miss Cakes. It's kind of like let Rupert eat cake, maybe, but not because he's stupid.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, I did like that. But I did have something that I wanted to say earlier that he talked about. Well, whatever, it's gone.
I did not start Frasier yet.
I haven't seen Frasier either.
I'm trying to. I finished up with Cheers. Frasier's on my list. I'm trying to wrap up a couple other shows I started first, and then I'm going to jump into Frasier.
Really? You're going to jump into Frasier? You're going to jump into Frasier, even though I've asked you to watch a couple of different shows before that.
Frasier is a casual watch. It's not a deep dive. Do you know how long it took me to watch 11 seasons of Cheers?
Well, that's on you. You decided to do that.
Frasier is a 20-minute sitcom. It's an easy, watch. I'm going to watch The Wire, Kristin.
And The West Wing.
I need to restart The West Wing.
And Peaky Blinders.
We'll see. All right.
Each season of Peaky Blinders is 6 episodes. Get your head out of your ass. You can do that in a weekend.
Have you started Sherlock yet? Or Chuck?
The one, Sherlock, the one with Benedict
Cumberbatch?
I've seen the first 2 seasons.
Oh, then you need to finish it.
Fuck out. You.
All right, we have one more. We have one more.
Okay,
we're already long.
All right.
This last one comes, of course, from our friend Steve Brown.
Hello, Kristin and Ben. This is Steve, and I haven't finished listening to the episode 9 podcast yet, but I wanted to comment, Kristin. You're so right. My opinion changed. Oh, this is Steve. Sorry, my opinion changed on Lost, and my opinion has definitely changed on Nate. On watching how his story has progressed this time around, I've got a very much different perspective on Nate. I don't know how anybody else feels about, but I love these 3 guys that do the whole Soccer Saturday stuff. Okay, weren't all these guys praising Nate just a few weeks ago, and now that he's gone, they're like, "Oh, he sucks." Oh, Sam didn't get picked for the Nigerian team. Oh, Danny, that intense, very, very intense to Van Damme there. Love Rebecca's screenshot for Rupert when he calls us the devil. All Jane, always the perfect girlfriend. Then there's your answer. And Nate, you made the right decision quitting your job. Ooh, and the press is camped outside of Nate's house. Ooh, well, cue the sound drop, Ben, because apparently Jack closed the office without telling Keeley. Ooh, Danny in his shades and Van Damme on the same plane. Ooh, not to nitpick, Danny crushing the chips, but wouldn't Sam call them crisps? Excuse me, Van Damme called them crisps. Ooh, the onion that is beard and all of his axes. 17. I forgot about Uncle Day. Aw. Hey, is it just me, or has the actress that plays Phoebe grown quite a bit? Like a lot. I'm glad they didn't recast or anything, but it just seems funny to me. Forgot about this, that he rented the whole restaurant out and is being such a jerk to Sam right now. Edward Akufo, right? Francis just has to be a dick on top of it. Leslie running down all the list of people that Rebecca could have gone to besides him for advice. Hilarious. Yeah, I think those kids are dead from Willy Wonka, too. Read the text from Jack to Keeley. Love May. I can't have another skinny girl pass out in my pub. Mistake. Red right hand playing while Roy's got that shirt on, and that guy laughed at him. Not good. Ooh, Danny just kicked the ball right into Van Damme's nose. Yeah, I was able to read Rebecca's reply to Rupert that I'll be there for the meeting. Yeah, there was no way that Roy was leaving that shirt on the ground. Okay, not going to lie, the lioness moment from Rebecca and little Rebecca, terrifying. What did Roy just figure out when Miss Bowen Leanne was flirting with him, and he just said, fudge. So Edwin Akufo sends the Russian guy out. I don't understand, why was he there to begin with then? Did he just say an undry dream instead of a wet dream for... Wow. Jerk. Wait, Nate plays the violin? Ow, what a great quote. Just because we own these teams doesn't mean they belong to us. And I'm getting emotional here. The aftermath is the best. They had a food fight. Oh, and this conversation between Nate and his dad, I just want my son to be happy. Oh, Rupert, it was so nice until you tried to lean in for a kiss. Oh, great note, Roy. I have no clue. I don't remember how Roy and Keeley end up. Oh, I don't know how much money that was, but the fact that Rebecca has it in cash, wow. Wait, Roy was there the whole time? Oh, totally forgot about that. Oh, and Keeley and Barbara back together again. Oh, and Nate did the locker room up for Will. Oh, sorry about the length of this. This show's wrapping up, and we're going into the home stretch here.
I think we all feel a little long, you know? We all want to talk about this episode so much. So I'm feeling less bad about the fact that this recording is long because all the voicemails are also long.
Yeah.
this week.
I told you before we started recording, I was like, feedback's going to take about 20 minutes.
I know.
You know,
I do want to go back to, because while Steve was talking, which Steve, I love every single one of your voicemails, so I'm not diminishing you here, but I did remember what I wanted to talk about from Alex's voicemail, where he said that Danny was misused the last two seasons and he was too stupid or whatever. I don't think that that's the case, mainly because one of his first episodes, remember when they were trying to figure out what the players were going to endorse and he just wanted to endorse joy?
Joy. Mucho joy.
Like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, right? I don't think he was ever supposed to be this smart, complicated character. Football is life. I think that's his character.
That's Danny to the core.
Yeah. So, and his identity is rooted in football, and he is a Mexican. And anybody I'm from Southern California originally, so I'm pretty in tune with Mexican culture. Look, as a white person, okay, I'm not the most informed person, obviously, because I'm not Mexican, but I can tell you that Mexican culture, their identity is Mexico. They are Mexico. Mexico. That's their culture. So you stick Danny playing for his country in a sport he believes is his life. Yeah, that's the Danny I think you're going to get. Yeah. But I could be wrong.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I have never looked at Danny Rojas as like a secondary kind of like making the Roger Dorn comparison is a great comparison to anybody who is a Major League fan, because Roger Dorn's character changed from Major League 1 to Major League 2 into the rest, into 2 and 3, which is why he said give it a shot, because I never watched Major League 3. I'm not going back to the minors, but no, I mean, I've never thought that way of Danny. I've always thought Danny is pretty much Danny Rojas, like the entire time.
Football is life. He's from Mexico. I think that actually was all very in line with each other, and probably maybe even discussed in the writer's room, maybe with the actor. Who knows? You know, I don't know anything about Mexican football culture. I do know what I do know from, living in Southern California, growing up in Southern California for the first 30 years of my life. And that is that they love their football. Mexicans love their football. I watched way too much Mexican football for years as a restaurant waitress.
Yeah.
If the restaurant was closed, football was on.
Yeah, there are two places in the world that I take that as, and that take the same way. Mexico is one of them. Mexico is all about football. Brazil also all Brazil, about football.
For sure.
I remember, and Alex will appreciate this too, when they announced that the Eagles season was going to start with them playing in Brazil, playing an away game in Brazil. And I just remember turning to people in the room when I heard that and be like, they do know they have real football there, right? Like, not this American bastardized version of football. Like this, they have real football in Brazil.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they are all about that shit.
Yes, they are.
So that game hasn't happened yet either. So we'll see how it happens. Well, it goes when it happens. But thank you to everybody who left feedback this week. There are only 2 episodes left. So if you've ever wanted to leave feedback for Ted Lasso, you got 2 more opportunities to do it. Easiest way to do it. Just go to our website, revisitedpod.com. There you can find links on where to subscribe, leave feedback, all of that. Or just email us directly, feedback@revisitedpod.com. If you haven't left feedback before, we encourage you guys to do so, especially for these last 2 episodes. Because there's going to be a lot to talk about in these next 2 episodes. Which the next episode, Mom City, it's the penultimate.
Mm-hmm. Good episode too.
But it's
lots to talk about.
It's a great episode. Before we wrap things up, any recommendations for people at home?
Quiet Place Day 1, man. I saw it 2 nights ago. It was
You watched A Quiet Place?
Yes. I love that franchise. It's PG-13, man.
Oh, so you just don't like rated R horror.
I don't like unnecessary yuck.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. I still need to see A Quiet Place 2. Which I know Cillian Murphy is in.
So good.
I haven't watched it.
You know what?
Yet.
I love it because A Quiet Place, the franchise, they have this trilogy that's, I think, a lot like the Simon Pegg trilogy, where you have loose links to each of the characters, to the characters. We follow different characters, really. Quiet Place 2 is still the same family as Quiet Place 1, but we have Cillian Murphy, who is a central part of that story, and Jimon Hansu is also in A Quiet Place 2. Jimon Hansu is in A Quiet Place Day 1, but he's not a central character. He's not a central character in either of them.
Well, it's not like, I appreciate the reference to the Simon Pegg trilogy, but the Simon Pegg trilogy is in the fact that, like,
it's just the same actors.
It's not the same. It's the same actors. None of those 3 movies are set in the same world.
Yeah, no, I understand that. But what I'm saying is, I guess when I say it's kind of like it, is that it's not John Krasinski and his family on day 1.
Yeah.
It's not Cillian Murphy on day 1. It's a completely different story.
Well, I mean, in that sense, I would maybe make a comparison then to the Cloverfield trilogy.
Oh yeah, I don't know that. Okay, so maybe that's what it is.
In which
Joseph Quinn is in the movie, who played Eddie Munson in Stranger Things.
Yep.
And he's fantastic in this movie. The nonverbal, because in A Quiet Place, it's a mostly silent movie, right?
Yeah.
Everything is mostly a silent movie if you know A Quiet Place. The nonverbal communication that Joseph Quinn has with Lupita Nyong'o. Is that how you say her last name?
Lupita Nyong'o, yes.
Nyong'o. Their chemistry,
Nyong'o, yeah.
Their chemistry and their nonverbal communication with each other in this movie is incredible. And I don't say this lightly. I really, honestly, there is talent in Joseph Quinn that is untapped that I'm really excited to see.
I cannot wait to see him as Johnny
the Human
Storm.
Torch. Yeah.
Yes. I cannot wait to see him as Johnny
There
Storm.
is more to him. There's more to him as an actor than these big horror type of movies like Stranger Things and A Quiet Place. There's more to him than this Marvel universe that he's about to step into. He has something in him that's remarkable. And I just can't wait to see what he does next.
You know, it's funny too, as far as like the Fantastic Four go too. Like I was very familiar with him. I was very familiar, obviously, with Pedro Pascal, with Vanessa Kirby, but I was unfamiliar with Ebon Moss-Bachrach, who was announced as playing Thing, until I started watching The Bear.
He's also in The Mandalorian, and he was brilliant in The Punisher.
Well, yeah, because he was not Weasel. I know who he was in The Punisher, but I never watched that. And who was he in Mandalorian?
No, I'm sorry. He was in Andor.
Which I never watched.
Which is bullshit.
I'm not a Rogue One fan.
I don't care. You need to see Andor. I don't care. You need to see it. It has nothing to do with Rogue One.
I know him now as Richie from The Bear. So that's like, now I know who he is for Fantastic Four.
He's fantastic. Everything that he does. I
love him as Richie.
I've watched his career over the years with interest as well. Like every time I see him, I'm like, fuck yes, I love this guy. So I'm always happy when he gets work, and he is brilliant in The Bear.
Yeah, he's great as Richie.
But yeah, Quiet Place Day One, awesome.
All right. My recommendation for the week is, so I've had friends that have been recommending this series to me for a little bit, and I ended up watching. No, it's not Frasier. I ended up watching all 6 episodes in one day. So Netflix has been playing around with live television. They've been doing more and more of it. They've been doing live stand-up specials, live sporting events. Pretty soon, WWE is actually moving to Monday Night Raw is moving to Netflix.
Netflix is trying to get their people back since they, shat on their people.
Regardless, a couple months ago, they did a talk show. It was only 6 episodes, but it was called Everybody's in LA, and it was hosted by John Mulaney. And it was a talk show format. It was hosted by John Mulaney, with the announcer person being Richard Kind, who anybody who knows Richard Kind is just like, he's a treasure. He's an absolute treasure. All it is him bringing on. It was taking place during Netflix's big comedy special or comedy festival in California. So he was like, you know what? While everybody's here, while all these comics are here in California, we're just going to do a talk show. I'm going to bring them on. I'm going to bring on some actual like intellectual people and everything. And we're just going to see where it goes. There was
John Mulaney's case for wanting to be on The Daily Show.
Yeah, there was. Funny enough, Jon Stewart is on one of the episodes as a guest.
Weird.
And so he picked a theme for each episode. So like episode 1 was, and every theme had to do with something pertaining to LA. So episode 1 was coyotes.
That's, yeah.
And he had on a comic and a national wildlife person. And it was just like, we're just going to see what happens. And it is brilliant. It is hysterical. It's only 6 episodes. They only did 6 episodes. And John Mulaney said from episode 1, his monologue in the first episode is like, we're only doing 6 episodes of this, and then we're done. I don't have to worry about anything after this. And he has become very open about everything that he went through with the rehab, with the baby, everything. I've always thought Mulaney is a brilliant comic.
I love him. His bit on Xanax, the Xanax story, I don't know if you've ever heard it. It's 10 minutes of pure magic. It is the best routine that he has, is his Xanax story.
But even like they did an episode about the theme of the episode was helicopters, because there's always helicopters flying over LA.
That's true too.
And at one point, somebody made a joke about how, like, they were wondering who was higher, helicopters or John Mulaney. And like he laughs right along with it. Like he knows he had problems. Yeah. He's very open about it. He's open about the rehab. And I think ever since he's gone through it and been open about everything, I think he's become even more brilliant.
A lot of people relapsed during COVID.
He didn't, though, I don't think. Or did he?
I think it was him and Jack Shepard that like relapsed hard. And yeah. If I get it, COVID sucked.
It's only 6 episodes. They're hour-long episodes. They were done live on Netflix. And he had an open phone line so people could call in and share stories about
That's
coyotes or helicopters. It is so good. It's Jon Stewart literally has no idea what's going on half the episode.
I love
like,
it.
what-
I have 2 really good coyote stories too. So that's funny because I think if you're from California, you have coyote stories. Because the minute you said they could share coyote stories, I was like, I have 2.
One
2
of the
good
people,
ones.
one of the people called in to share a story about how they woke up to find a coyote in their apartment,
Yeah, I'm
like
not
in
surprised.
their bedroom, standing on their dresser.
Yeah, I'm not.
And then the craziest part of the story was like, she's like, no, I'm not done. I live on the 2nd floor. It was, I highly recommend it. It's called Everybody's in LA.
All right.
It's so well done. I'm so glad I finally watched it.
Oh, good. I'm going to put that on the list for sure.
So, any final notes before we wrap things up? Apologies again for a longer episode, but we had a lot to talk about.
Anybody that's still listening to us right now, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for still being here, all 4 of you.
Any final notes before we wrap up?
No.
Okay. Then, with that being said, to those of you still listening, thank you for everything, for always being a part of this journey, for subscribing, for listening, for feedback, sharing it, telling your friends about it, which we hope you continue to do. We've only got 2 episodes of Ted Lasso left, but we're far from done because we have The Good Place coming up, and we've got more shows on the list we want to do after that. So we're going to keep this train going for a little while longer. But until next time, see you guys back out on the pitch. Take care.
Namaste, baby.